Well, happy birthday, Merca.
America.
America.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
So you know
got
what
a
that
brand
means.
to protect.
Yes. Hi, guys. It's your favorite. Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. It's Wrestling on the Rocks, the Thursday night chaser for the America birthday night. America. Yeah. So
We're the Liberty Chaser today.
the Liberty Chasers.
Willis
Willis says happy 4th of July. So yes, so guys, you know me. I'm your host, Ms. Amanda Jane. And of course, with me is Juge. We have Digi.
Yeah.
What's going on, Digi?
I don't know, man. I never know.
You never know. Well, I'll let you do some hosting duties and welcome our guest.
Oh, he's not our guest. He's one of the family. What are you talking
Well,
about?
I know, but today,
We have Hype, the commentator, fresh off his being outside, sweating his ass off, and doing the workout thing. From parts unknown. Murph.
Thank you guys for having me once again. I appreciate it.
I broke him. It's over.
I wish I could English. As a commentator, if only I could English.
It's true.
Well, it's okay because Willis is watching Forbidden Door right now. Hey.
Trust me, you will be
that,
disappointed.
I don't know how far you're into that, but sometimes I really kind of wish that door. It's not really forbidden. It's just kind
I
of.
didn't even unlock it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about. I didn't even bother unlocking it.
Yeah. It should stay. Justin, happy 4th of July and cheers. Yes,
cheers
to
man.
Justin. So, because we're celebrating Merca's birthday and because it's Thursday, let's play a little game of what's in your glass. So, Hype, what is in your glass this evening?
Ice cold water.
Yes. Because Merca. Because remember, guys, it's not about what you drink, it's about who you're drinking with. So, it can be ice cold water. It could be Digi. What's in your mug?
Right now, coffee.
Right now, coffee. But what else do you have? Because I know you've got something else.
To be continued. You never know.
To be continued. We never know. Well, because it's like 100 degrees plus the 4th day, I'm dying. Yes, you hear my fan. Or as Bishop said, I have like, what did he say? I had like a wind. Like I have I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. It's hot.
What are those giant movie wind fans going on?
Yeah, my wind fan movie, like type fan. So I have that. And then, of course, you can't have the 4th of July. And this is definitely not sponsored thing, but regular Coke. Because look, and it's red, white, and blue because, America.
America.
Yes.
America.
And, yes. And so, as y'all know, I'm on the West Coast. So we don't have the fireworks now. We'll have them at like 1 a.m. like we've had the last 3 nights.
Oh, I'm waiting for the shotguns to go off where I'm at.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Oh yeah. By the way, people, Stanleys do leak. I just spilled just water all over me, but that's okay because it's hotter than Hades. All right. So let's take a look. See here. So lots of lots of interesting shit going on. JD shaking his head. I don't know why, but before we
You're
go,
making a mess, and it's kind of like
I
you're making
am. We're not.
you're making a mess. You're shaking your head about the whole thing, and Ricky Starks is behind you, looking judgingly at you, which
Yes.
is just hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, that's my normal. That's my normal. So before we get into it, let's besides America, there's
Hmm.
lots of other birthdays too. So let me get into it right now. Again, yesterday, once again, happy birthday, Joey Janela.
Bad boy.
The bad boy probably had his fun on the Jersey Shore as usual. One of my favorites growing up, Hillbilly Jim. Totally nicest dude. Nicest dude. We had like a 3-hour random conversation with him at like WrestleCon when it was in San Jose. It was amazing. Totally great dude. Totally really nice dude. Happy birthday. Adam Cole, baby. Happy birthday. Yep. Gotta love him. Kevin Nash celebrating a birthday. Shelton Benjamin.
Gold
Andrew
standard.
Everett. Yeah. Andrew Everett. And let me see, since 7th, 4th. Well, there's other birthday. There's more. There's not a lot of birthdays this week, so there's very few. And then also Cheeseburger from Ring of Honor. Apparently, it was his birthday today, so happy birthday! And finally, the most important birthday. And I was trying to get him to come on. We need to, everyone grab a glass. We need to have a toast. Yesterday was the birthday of the final boss of the Single Malt Studios. We're talking Ref Marsh. Happy birthday, boss.
Your birthday, my man.
I was trying to come on here to get him to do happy birthday shot, but he's not
He's doing
responding.
birthday stuff.
You know,
Look,
I
he's
mean,
doing
yeah, New
birthday
Mexico's
stuff. He's doing birthday stuff.
birthday stuff. Maybe, I don't know. He did yesterday. There was a photo with like cigars and some really good alcoholic beverages that was posted. So I don't know.
I'm not allowed to have.
Unless like I don't know, unless 4th of July is amazing in New Mexico. But then again, I don't know.
It is.
Oh, is it? I have no idea. But I know I can tell you this: it's goddamn better than Delaware. And I did
Thanks,
invite
better.
Bishop too. Bishop said no. So yeah, I know it's real exciting. Smells like fucking chicken poop and piss and so America. That's all I gotta say. So,
You have the
anywho,
freedom to smell all that stuff in the countryside.
yeah, you have the freedom, and I have the freedom to talk shit about fucking Delaware.
Sorry to feel the same way about a few other places.
Oh yes. So, Forbidden Door. Willis is watching it. Very interesting. Lots of shit kind of happening with participants of Forbidden Door and whatnot. So I don't even know where to begin with it. I mean, you've got, MJF who opened in Long Island.
He probably should have, realistically.
Do you think that was a good idea for him, or should have he? I can't talk. I'm getting judged. Fucking judged.
That's a T-shirt.
Should he have been the opener of Forbidden Door, or should he been higher up on the card? No.
Nope.
No, I mean, weren't they in the UBS Arena, his like home area, Long Island?
Long Island.
I mean, it was kind of better that you opened because then you set the pace of the show. That's a match. MJF is a guy, you know he's gonna have a good match. That's a guy you want to set the pace of your show. And his opponent was Hechicero. Is that how you pronounce that? Hechicero?
Hechicero.
Hechicero, something like that. I've heard that he's pretty good as a luchador. I haven't gotten a chance to see much of his work, so I'm not too familiar. But I've heard good things, so I'm assuming they put on a good match. Didn't get the chance to catch the match because I was busy, but it's MJF as somebody who should open the show, especially in the UBS arena. That's his place. I mean, you put him later in the card. That's like putting Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 fifth on the card.
Well, and the other thing is too is that there wasn't a lot of build-up or a lot of hype in terms of the match card for Forbidden Door.
No.
Like, they mainly pushed two things. They pushed Mercedes Moné and the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
You know, to the detriment of everyone.
Well, the ladder match.
No.
Oh, yeah.
The ladder match was the big deal.
No, well, there were 14 matches.
Yeah. They just kept adding them.
Right.
Yeah, they kept adding and adding. And I don't know, like the bad part about with MJF, and this is why I personally didn't really care for him opening, and he should have been higher on the card, is that crowd got real flat for a very long time. And I don't know if it's because it was shitty and people didn't like the matches necessarily. Didn't look very sold out ish. Personally, like for me, there was only like 2 matches that I thought that were actually any good. But that's just me. But I will say that the ones that everyone that they really did push heavily were not that great. They weren't. So
I mean, when the crowd is so flat, like MJF is, I feel like it's a great start. You get him out there, he gets the crowd pumped. That's their hometown guy. You know, really set that standard. Then you need to keep up that standard. But you know, when you drop off, like it's nice you found out who the wild card is and all that stuff. That's great. That was one. Then they pushed the Monet plot line, if you can call it that. That's 2. Beyond that, I know there were other matches on the card. Most of the fans online couldn't tell you what most of them were or how great they were or not.
I'll tell you this, like my favorite, and it's not because I like Zack Sabre Jr., but that Zack Sabre Jr. Orange Cassidy match was a lot better than I expected it to be quite honest with you.
No,
it was amazing because, you know, just to kind of see with Zack Sabre Jr., like how, like he's had some, you know, his matches with Danielson and some of these other matches that he's been having. I mean, like it's incredible. And there was a point where I'm like, he's actually gonna fucking lose to Orange Cassidy, like legitimately lose to Orange Cassidy. But that finisher, woo! I know Willis is watching Forbidden Door, so I don't know if he's gotten Zack Sabre Jr. yet, but I'll just say this: you guys can go back and see that last submission move. I did not know the human body could bend that way. At the same time, in a couple directions at the same time. Did not know that. I was like mortified for about a good few minutes. Like, how is that like possible? And yeah, that it just astonished me. But that one was probably for me one of the better matches of the evening. I think Toni Storm had the best match she's had in quite a while because she had great chemistry with Mina Shirakawa. So that did not
before.
Did not disappoint.
That was Takagi and Danielson.
That was match of the night right there.
I didn't get to see it, but I heard I mean, it's Danielson, so I kind of knew because he
But
could.
Shingo Takagi, like,
Yeah.
he is one of these people that I think that a lot of people really sleep on and don't understand or really know and see like how fucking amazing he is and how powerful. It's just because of the way Gato books him in New Japan. You would not have known. And I think that with Shingo, like, that's a guy that I'm like, I think one match that we should watch sometime. I'll have to get it again, but from Bola 2018, it was Shingo Takagi and Ilya Dragunov teaming against Ring Kong. So it was Gunther and Timothy Thatcher. And I will tell you, I was there live. Holy shit.
That seems like a heater.
Yeah,
It was
man.
like, oh, it was amazing. That Bola, I will tell you, that Bola had a lot of really great matches. And that's the Bola that a lot of people got signed at. So that's where they signed Trevor Lee. That's when they signed Walter. That's when they signed who else was on there? Bronson Reed. That's when they signed got a whole bunch of people. And because I remember at first no one knew that Regal was there, but I saw him because of where we were sitting, and I was like, "Oh shit! Yep, everybody's here." I said, "Regal's here," and I said, "I'm wondering if Triple H was there, but I don't know if he was." I know he had gone before to PWG, not in the Reseda days. It was always just Regal who went during the Reseda days, but that's where a lot of those guys got the WWE the contract were signed. So it was really kind of a cool moment. But that's a great match. But Shingo and Danielson did not disappoint. I mean, the obvious thing is that because obviously Shingo's here on a limited time, they didn't give him much of a visa, and because G1 is coming up, obviously we knew that he wasn't going to win that, but it was phenomenal. It's one to go back and watch. I would say if you go back to watch any matches, go back and watch those three. The rest,
The only match that's happened this week is that I'm particularly interested in. Okay,
Mhm.
was the street fight that took place in the Tokyo train where
yes,
Murder Grandpa pulled a gun on people.
yep. And then Jushin Thunder Liger like showed up and did something. The DDT one. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that yet.
Tell me that wasn't so cool. I'm not kidding, dude. This guy is just like, we need a triple threat of him, Arn Anderson, and somebody else. I don't know. I forgot. It was like I saw something about it. It was just like, what the hell, dude?
When I saw that photo of him pulling a gun out, I'm like, what the heck? All right. He's already
What
scary enough.
happened?
He's already scary enough. And now you're giving him a gun. My mind was blown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that dude, I don't care who you are, that's a scary motherfucker. It's like I said, Tony Khan needs to sit his ass in the back. You want a real heel owner? Get his dad, because his dad looks like he's put out a few hits on people.
Yeah.
Like, he's
He
got that
scares me.
Pablo Escobar violent look in his eyes,
Yeah. And when he smiles, even though sometimes it can be a sincere smile, it's still fucking creepy as shit and scares me. Like, yeah. Like when I met him the first time, I had a conversation with him. I wore a special, it was a limited edition. It was it was from his shop, Harajuku Pile Driver in Japan. That was a collaboration with Sanrio, and it was Hello Kitty. Her face, she was like a Murder Grandpa version of him. So her head had the thing shaved in her head, and she was wearing a fedora because he loves wearing fedoras when he's not, wrestling. And he was like, "Oh my God, your shirt is so amazing." And he was talking to me, and he was really happy and smiling, and I was just like kind of creeped out, like, "Oh my God, this man can kill me." I don't know if I say the wrong thing, he might like kill me. But it was very yeah, it was scary, but yeah, no, it was the coolest thing. And on the back of the shirt, I'll have to pull it out. I'll pull it out in a little bit. It's the actual her, her with her body, and she has the towel draped over her head, like how he comes and does his ring entrance. Is freaking cool. It's a freaking cool shirt.
Yup.
I love collabs like that. So, not because they're Hello Kitty.
Live.
And yes, I'm being judged behind me.
Yes.
This is, Digi's responsible for the graphic. He sent this to me.
I felt it was necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky's very judgmental. And I'm like, okay.
Yup.
Yeah.
So, let's see here.
Yeah, very judgmental. So yeah, so Forbidden Door, come and gone.
I don't even think he's watching. We're just gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll
tell
the
you,
part.
Door. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
All right, because it's all over the internet. It's not a spoiler if you can find it on YouTube, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
You hold back Britt Baker's return.
Mm-hmm.
You have her come out, basically do a little twirl and go back.
Mm-hmm.
No confrontation, no running, nothing. Okay. The crowd wasn't sold on Mercedes either way. The initial honeymoon phase is over. She's now being judged by even like the WWE fans already told you, you're not getting what you think you're getting. So now it's over. And much to Bully Ray's credit, in this feud, Britt Baker, she needs to be a face, fucking own it, and go. Put this shit to bed. Send Mercedes, and my personal feeling, send Mercedes back to fucking catering or to go for Justin to teach her a few things, because she's not like a lot of that. A lot of what I've understood of the match, it was just damned embarrassing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why, she's being made a bigger deal than she really is. I don't understand that. If anyone wants to clue me in on this, please, because I don't get it.
Well, what's your thoughts, Sam?
You kind of have to look at where she was in WWE. I mean, she was part of that NXT 4 Horsewomen. I mean, that was kind of where she was at. Her, Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley. They all were these 4 big stars, but it always felt like when she was Sasha at the time in WWE, she always felt like she was getting the short end of the stick, and then tried to be louder, tried to make herself a louder personality. She didn't always get the moments that she wanted, and made it very clear that she felt that she deserved more. And she got the tag titles with Naomi, and that wasn't enough, that they weren't being used properly as tag team champions, not being booked on shows as your women's tag team champions. I mean, tough thing to say. Did the way they went about it when I don't know exactly what happened. Did the way that people are saying it when they went about it was the right way to go? Hard to say. I mean, but I get it. You feel stuck. If you feel stuck in a place, you want to find a way to get yourself out. That's what I could say from being in this business, not very long, or just being anywhere in general, being in a job that you don't like, being in a job you feel like you're stuck, you want to do something and you want to find a way. You either want something to go your way and, worth shooting your shot, or find a way to get out of there. And that's what happened. And then that idea of her being a big star, using herself on social media properly, it really boosted her up, as one of those big four horsewomen. That was the big deal. I mean, she has main evented WrestleMania 37 against Bianca Belair. I mean, she's done some cool things. She's a multi-time WWE Women's Champion. She's the current TBS champion.
Mhm.
I mean, she has a bit of aura if you think about it. She's got the look. And she
I
had
mean,
something in WWE. But maybe all that time off from pro wrestling, maybe something along the way misconnected or disconnected rather.
well, and this is kind of where she was at. Most people would ever like a lot of her dark matches. Some that have gone out. Dark matches may as well have been her training ground. And it's apparent. Her promo skills were mediocre at best. If she wasn't hyper scripted, she wasn't very good. She couldn't go off the cuff like she was asked to.
Yeah.
And you could tell she got exposed. Uh, if it wasn't for the hype machine behind WWE pushing her, in part to the fact of who her cousin is, she would be nobody in this business. And just because you look at a Tony Storm, you look at Bianca Belair, you look at even a Charlotte Flair, who arguably, without her father, would have ended up where she was.
Yeah, I could
She,
see that.
like Becky Lynch, same thing. You can tell these women who have that spot for a reason. She was always the one I questioned. Like
Yeah.
Marina Shafir had 3 matches in NXT, and I felt she was more of a star in my opinion, and not for lack of a push. Like the only one she ever seemed to want to work a program with was Bailey. The back and forth, stupidity for the 12 billionth time. That seemed to be the only person she wanted to work with. And I'm not backstage. I don't know anybody. That kind of looks a little weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, gotta take it sometimes all you can do is take it for face value, take it how you see it.
Yeah.
I didn't really look too deep into Sasha Banks's work or Mercedes Moné. Sasha Banks at the time of WWE, I never really looked too deep into her work in that sense. So I didn't really get an idea of, okay, this is who she is. This is her character. She had some great matches in NXT, did some good stuff on the main roster. I don't think too much of it. Leaves WWE, bets on herself, takes some time off from pro wrestling, debuts in AEW as
That,
Mercedes Moné.
but
I
that's
mean,
not what
I
happened.
haven't really seen much of it other than her debut. I mean, I saw clips of her
She,
debut, but I don't think I've seen a single one of her matches. And that's not because I'm single-handedly avoiding her as a wrestler. I haven't had the time to keep up with AEW because there's so much going on in pro wrestling, between what I'm doing and what's going on, and doing what we're being taught in wrestling school, what to watch, what to look for, what to study. And
mhm.
that's old school. Look at the old school stuff. MCW is all about, watching all the old school wrestling. Look at Mid South, look at Memphis, you know?
Dude, I'm there with that. Now, I will say you've missed a step in her career. When she went from WWE, which, as per recent interview, she threw a fucking tantrum because she didn't want to work house shows or some stupid shit. She went to Japan. She didn't even make it there a year. And half of that she spent injured.
That's right.
And then she started teasing, her thing being, hobbled up in the fucking stands. And I don't even think that was, contract negotiation. I think that she realized that the Japanese market and the Joshis weren't fucking having her stupidity. And, that was just the thing. So she tried to enter a job at AEW, and good on her. She's
Good
making,
for her. Marketing.
yeah, that's
That's
it.
what the business is all about. If you know how to market yourself, you know how to make some money. I mean, that's something she's really good at. I mean, sometimes, even if, you feel that some people feel maybe she's lacking in some areas, I don't know. I haven't gotten the chance to watch her. I
That's
from the
the
matches I've
game.
seen of her, I've I've enjoyed her matches, but it's been a long time since I've seen a Mercedes Moné Sasha Banks match. So I can't, I
She,
can't assess where she's currently at, but it seems there's some interesting things going on. And, the Britt Baker thing, it almost seems from what you guys are describing, not that I really saw Britt Baker's return. I think I saw like a few seconds of it,
that's
maybe on
exactly how
X.
long it was.
You know what it's
Yeah.
almost like? It's almost like how WWE does their returns, except those are big names. Like when Bray Wyatt returned at Extreme Rules 2022, CM
Hmm.
Punk Survivor Series 2023. It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Those are box office stars. Bray Wyatt was a box office star. He had this aura, that this mystique around him. And
He
that
was,
it's so much so that they're honoring his legacy with the Wyatt Six. And then you have CM Punk, the biggest star in professional wrestling, returning in Survivor Series, going from one place where Mercedes Moné is to the biggest wrestling company in the world. I mean, it's CM
yeah.
Punk coming out for a few seconds. CM Punk doesn't have to say a darn thing. It was the fact that he showed up on a
Hmm.
rumor that he was going to be there in Chicago for the second time in a different promotion. He sold out an arena on a rumor
Hmm.
that he was going to be there.
Because he's got a following, love him or hate him. That's what it is. I don't think that, as a whole, I don't think that Mercedes has that level of following. I don't think she's the kind of draw she may have made herself out to be, because at the time they had to shoehorn into a tag team to get her on TV, probably to make up for some contractual dates. Because it sounds like, based on what she was saying, her own interview, right? She didn't want to fucking work house shows. She wanted to go to Hollywood, but she'd barely been there long enough to know which side of the ring smelled wrong. She hadn't proven herself at a certain level of commodity. So got no problem letting people go to Hollywood. The problem comes in, at least from my understanding, is when you try to go too far too soon. Like, if you can't cut a decent promo, how the fuck are you going to act? They finally let her do it. Good on her. But another prime example, Liv Morgan's been at the company almost 10 years, right?
Now she's finally having her world title run.
She's got her world title
I mean,
run.
she had a WWE women's title run last year or 2 years ago,
And it was hot. It was hot
and
for
it
a
was
minute.
good. The people loved it, but this is a different version of Liv Morgan. It seemed like she's finally finding out who, that's the whole thing. You spend your whole career finding out who your person is, who you are, who your
Hmm.
character is, what you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be. And I think this Liv Morgan revenge tour ultimately,
Yep.
was like, okay, Liv Morgan, here's who she is. She's had this on and off thing with Rhea Ripley for quite some time, and now it's finally like it's boom right in your face.
It's coming to a head, and
It's
hard.
finally happening. Boom. Their WWE's finally, like talking about it. It's not like, like little thing where Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley were former women's tag team champions. It's
Hmm.
now, like the little things are like, when they turn on each other, and then
Yeah,
now it's boom, Liv Morgan attacked Rhea Ripley, and by accident, Rhea Ripley got hurt and was forced to relinquish her championship, which, you know, did, in turn worked out for Liv Morgan, because it's like, okay, we're
and
gonna
it
put
worked
her
out for her
over.
too. She got married.
Yeah.
She, she's been working hurt for a while, and you can tell that
Yeah.
she needed the time off. Let's she was carrying the women's division on her back for a minute, so she
Yeah.
needed to take that break, much like Roman Reigns needed that break.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have your break. I mean, the road. I mean, it's not the 330 days it used to be, but
But
still,
330 days when you're traveling just nationally is far different than 275 days internationally.
yeah, because now they're doing a lot more international shows. There's a lot more international tours. It's just
It's a lot.
overseas. There's a lot of stuff going on. It takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
I mean, when the
And
majority of the pay per views so far are overseas in this year,
yeah.
I mean, that's a lot because you spend the whole week in that country. I mean,
Oh,
not saying that that's like a almost like a vacation because it is kind of part of it. I mean, you get like, maybe a few hours, you see them at the beach or something, but still, I mean, it's still work because you got people, you got the camera crew up your ass. I mean, at all times.
yeah. You're
And
always
it,
on, whether you want to be or not.
yep, you always have to be on. I mean, there's some points, you get to enjoy yourself here and there, but I mean, you got to soak in the moment because this is what you worked for. This is what you wanted. Whether or not you knew what you were being prepared for, it's ultimately the end goal. Everybody wants to, if you want to be in the professional wrestling business, you ultimately want to end up at WWE, whether it's, in my case, I want to be, a commentator or a manager or both at
Yeah.
just different points in my career. Whatever it is, a lot of people, you want to compete. If you train in the wrestling business and you put your body through it, the ultimate goal has got to be the WWE championship. That's what you want. You're not going to put your body through that
Yep.
if you're not setting your goal so high that it's I'm the face of WWE. If you're not looking to become a Roman Reigns or a Cody Rhodes or a John Cena, a Stone Cold, a Rock, I can keep going on. If you don't want to do that,
Yep.
well, what are you doing in the wrestling business? And that's exactly what they say when you sign up for a wrestling school, at least at MCW, that's kind of what they say. If you don't want to be the world champion, why are you doing this to yourself? It hurts. It
Yeah.
hurts.
It's
I
gonna hurt
know
you the
because
rest
I
of your fucking
train.
life. Yep.
It's not ballet. It's not a trampoline. I mean,
Yep. And it's one of those things where it's you walk into this sort of thing with an expectation versus reality. You have to have the driver, you have to have the want, you have to have the desire to do it, and you have to recognize there's going to be shit you don't want to do.
yep.
You're going to have to do the job, you're going to have to be a fucking rosebud, you're going to have to do shit like that, like being the security guard who gets fucking crossroads, and the only thing that you've got to take is everything is a learning experience. You can
Yep.
learn from somewhere,
Pay your
and
dues.
yeah,
Pay your
like,
dues. That's as simple as that.
and some people think they're just going to walk in and step into the mainstream. In the meantime, that's not how that works. You got to work your way up. You got to get a name and notice, and that notice has got to be worth something where people are willing to pay. Because at the end, it's a financial transaction. You are the product and the asset. They're paying you to be such, which means you got to go.
Yeah, if nobody wants to pay to see you, why are we hiring you? That's the whole thing. WWE is not going to pay somebody that nobody would, draw that nobody's going to draw money. If this person's not going to draw any money, why are we hiring you?
Even
Maybe in the
AEW.
case of the athletes, it's different. It's
Yeah.
They look at athletes and they're like, okay, this person already has a look and we can do something with it. That's a totally different thing. But indie wrestling is so different on how they pick people. You have to know the basics. And this is what they were telling me because we have some people that have come through MCW that are like college athletes and that WWE told to come to us before they could go back and do, another, one of those
Do a
training
tryout.
things.
Yeah.
They say, if you're, a trainee, I mean, you don't have to know much. You don't have to know as much as an indie wrestler, but you have to be coachable if you're going to be
Yeah.
a college athlete that WWE wants to bring in for their, next in line or whatever they're calling it. But if you're an indie
Yeah.
wrestler, you kind of have to know a bit more than that. You have to be somebody that already has a bit of aura on the indie scene, somebody that everybody's vouching for.
Yep. Like Grado, as an example, he is a fan favorite across many promotions. He is not particularly athletic. It is kind of hard to understand him, but the guy is fun and his personality, his charisma gets people to pay to want to see him. You know, it's like Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens. He's built like a potato, but it's the way he handles himself, he carries himself, the way he wrestles. That's his trifecta.
Yeah, he's got aura. They got it's just as simple as that. He and Sami Zayn came in together. They
Mhm.
have that aura. They just have that about themselves. It's funny. I was listening to a Cornette podcast about both of them and like how Sami Zayn almost like he's not, neither of them are in the best shape, but Sami Zayn almost looks like that dirty fighter kind of thing, like he's not like, in the best shape, but he's got the size. I mean, he's got the height. I mean, and he's got the charisma. Both of them do. Kevin Owens, great
Yeah.
promo. He's got that fighter feel. They both have that, feel. Sami Zayn's got that, that baby face kind of feel. A guy you want to get behind, a guy you can support because he expresses his emotions and he fights for what's right. And we saw that really a lot when he tried to get Otis and the Alpha Academy to see the light and turn on Chad Gable. I mean, who wouldn't want to support a guy like that? That's your Intercontinental Champion, a guy that took down Gunther. As much as people respect Gunther and wanted to see Gunther's reign continue, there was a bit of a story there about Chad Gable training Sami Zayn, and then ultimately it worked out and made Sami Zayn even, bigger star that you wanted to support because Chad Gable turned on Sami Zayn in Sami Zayn's hometown for the Intercontinental title on Raw. I mean, that's a guy you want to support. And Kevin Owens, a former Universal Champion. He's just that guy. He's now part of the biggest storyline alongside Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes against this new bloodline. I mean, that's the guy. I mean, he wrestled how many people? There's not that many people, actually pretty much zero, that can say they got to wrestle Stone Cold in the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, that's the guy that WWE's like, okay, this guy's got something. And Stone Cold could have said, nah, I'm not going to do it. That's not the guy for a final match. I'm not going to wrestle him in Dallas.
That back and forth promo shit was so good. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, but when I look at a Becky Lynch, she's that plucky Irish fighter. Get that out of her. Hell, even Nia Jax, she just looks like a monster.
She's Samoan. I mean, she's
a Samoan woman. Mm-hmm. You look at hell, Tatum Paxley looks like that crazy ex-girlfriend you've been avoiding for 20 years. But you recognize it, Hell, Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
Big Mama Pump herself. Can't deny it.
The Juggernaut.
Picks on men and women, don't give a fuck. I mean, you can go down the line of even the most mid-card of mid-card. You still knew who they were. They still, like, that's your basis. Your mid-card are people that are, that people are paying money to see. You've got to meet that level. And it's great that, she got all this TV time. I personally think, and then after hearing the interview, her own words, you didn't want to fucking work house shows. You want to get paid to sit on your ass. That wasn't going to happen because everybody's got to work a house show. Everybody. Even Michael Cole. Right? And so you wanted to go Hollywood so fast. It took Liv Morgan 8 years to be able to guest star the opening of Chucky. Like, that's ego. What is it between somebody who has an ego and somebody who's proven? That was ego. She's not that good.
I mean, it was not even like, The Mandalorian's not even like a WWE, produced film. I mean, you started there. I mean, a guy like John Cena, when he started getting his films, The Marine, if I'm staying corrected, that was one of his first films. That was. That was a WWE film. That was part of, like, WWE had a big, deep, part in that production. That,
His second movie was 12 Rounds, again, WWE film. And then he did if I am not mistaken, and I think his first non WWE film was for
Fashion.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, he did the Fred
Uh,
movie. He did that Fred
He
movie?
did the
Yeah.
Fred movie. Yeah, he did the
That's
Fred movie.
right. I don't know.
He
Yeah.
did an appearance in the Fred movie. His first actual and a starring role kind of thing was the Fast and Furious series.
Yeah, but I'm just saying something that wasn't a WWE.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Oh
mean,
well.
you get
okay,
little
yeah,
roles
yeah,
like that. WWE,
Yeah, but
because
wait,
that's how you
I think-
represent WWE.
But I
At, like,
think
the Nickelodeon.
Suicide Squad though was before his Fast and Furious one. I think.
No,
I
he, did,
don't know. I
he
could
did the one
be wrong.
before.
the first one.
Yeah, he did. He did one before that. Then he did the Suicide Squad. Then he did the next one. Then he did the Peacemaker show, which is up in the air.
Well,
and then he
yeah,
did
I mean,
the last one.
He had like little like because remember we've seen his butt and whatnot in that movie where with Amy Schumer. Not horrible, like of course, I remember these things, but but no, I mean but that's what catapulted him to getting those things. It wasn't like he was like
So
Batista, let's just say.
what you're
Because
saying
Batista-
is that ass
John-
launched his career.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm being judged right now. But no,
You
I'm not
are
saying
being judged.
I am very harshly. I'm like
This is so good.
but one ass to another. They're like, no. I'm just saying because I forgot there was that one too. Before he started going off, but it was all the WWE films. Now Batista, that was one person. He didn't do any of those, and when he was away, had gotten
It took
those
him
kinds of things.
quit wrestling in order to get him into movies.
Yeah.
You know,
And when you look at it, it was like okay. Even The Rock, if you want to go there, right? If I'm
Yeah,
not
he was
mistaken.
different. That was just a different thing for The Rock. I mean, he
Yeah.
was the biggest star in WWE at the time.
Yeah. But also, when you're like the Tooth Fairy,
yes,
come
it's
on.
right there.
Or not, or whatnot. Come on.
Well, I'm looking at
not like-
IMDb. I want to do some research for Cena. Cena's first,
Uh-huh.
movie was The Marine as a star.
Yep.
2006. The second one, 2009, 12 rounds.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Then he did some TV stuff and WWE did that movie Legendary.
Yes.
Yes.
I have it on DVD. I'm not gonna lie, I have it on DVD.
I
Well,
have the
that was around the
Marine and
time.
I have an autographed copy of 12 rounds. Yeah. When I
So-
met Cena, he signed it for me. And then of course he had that big old dimpled smile. And here was me. I'm like, stop, don't do that. And I hit him and the security guard, and I'm like, oh God. He goes, no, it's okay. He's like, tells the guy it's okay. I'm like, I'm also the girl that pinched your ass two days before. Okay, anyways.
Come on, more chronology.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Saving
Being
Amanda from
judged.
embarrassment. Yep.
Yeah,
being
that was
judged.
around the time, like when all these movies were coming out. That was around the time I like kind of really got into wrestling because I'm only 22. So like 2009, 2008, 2009, 2010, around that time.
That was like John Cena in his prime years.
Oh yeah,
ish,
I was a big
you
John.
know?
I had the shirts. I have a
Mhm.
few
Yeah, the
Cena
shirt, you
shirts.
get the band, hustle, loyalty,
The
respect.
respect.
I have a chain somewhere. I have the you can't see
Love
me chain. I
Hey,
have-
there's nothing wrong with that, okay? The biggest thing that was wrong is they should have brought the fucking Dr. Thugonomics back a lot sooner than they did.
The
And
doctor.
for a longer.
Nope.
That's all I'm going to say.
I think it should stay where it is in history because the last time it was ever really used,
You're being judged. You're being
I'm
judged.
I'm
Oh
always
no, I'm
being
about to be
judged.
judged because going on to what I was saying. This like
Yeah,
I
go
have all
ahead.
these I have all these like random wrestling movies I did some WWE home videos. I'm ashamed to
So?
admit it, but I have the
No.
Chaperone on DVD.
That's not, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Now, if
Chaperone
you
was
were telling
fun.
It was fun.
Because you have-
Oh, and
you're
Big
telling me-
Show's what was like Knucklehead.
No, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Now, if you had told me that you have the whole collection of the Marine, when
No, I don't.
Zanin was doing it with the
Okay,
Miz.
no, I don't. That I don't.
Okay. All right. Here's something horribly shocking. Okay, I will say this. Okay. He was the best Marine.
Who the
The
Miz?
Miz?
Yes, the Miz.
Yeah.
he did a pretty
Yes.
good job.
Yeah.
Miz is fucking amazing. Okay, let me tell you. Much respect to fucking Mike, because let me tell you, I'm old school, like real world. And it made me laugh because I'm like, here's this guy that was like this nerd of all nerds, right? And he had this character, he was calling himself the Miz and whatnot, and that was his dream. And I'm thinking, I hope this guy gets his dream. If not, like this poor guy, he's probably gonna end up like he's either gonna like end up in a like mental institution or something, or I don't know, he's gonna end up being like I don't know, just like a blue collar worker somewhere, whatever. Like I was on the real world. Well, that guy, he got no breaks. I give him much respect because he had to go. He was the one. MTV, that shit didn't help him get a fucking career. He's the one who went out and did it. And I love him. Like, I have much respect for him, like, from day one.
Second
Because
that.
I was like, that guy's going to fucking do it. And he fucking did it. He didn't take shortcuts. He didn't do shit with
He
that.
fucked up.
He
He got
is-
thrown out of the locker
Yep.
room.
Yep. And he also is, to this day still, the most winningest person in all of those MTV challenges. I think he's won the most of them. And whatnot. He's the man, you know. So
He's
people who are
also
like,
one of
can't
the few
stand that guy.
wrestlers who has not been injured nor injured anyone else
Yep.
during one of his
He's so
matches.
versatile too. You can
Yeah.
put him in anything. Like if you need him to be somewhere, he's that
he'll
guy.
do it.
If you
Yeah,
need him to
he
be a
is that
heel, he can be
He's that
like
guy.
your biggest heel. You need to put him in a top storyline. Okay.
Yeah.
You need him to get a new star over. Okay.
Cool.
You need to put him on
He
the
is, yeah. He's
Awesome
the best,
Creed.
and he's I think the most underrated person that they have. And if he
Oh,
is
yeah.
not, like, honestly, like my opinion of him is, if he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then that's sad, because
Yeah.
that guy's done a fucking lot.
Oh yeah,
And,
he
you
fought
know,
through everything. You know, that being
Mhm.
thrown out of locker rooms, as did you mention, that was a big thing. That
Yeah.
was a big part of, you know,
huge thing.
his early
Yeah.
career. And just
Yeah,
you're like,
'cause
oh,
he-
you're just some TV, you know, person. You're just some MTV guy.
and he learned, and he's called
Mhm.
like there's been points where he's gone off script and called people out on their bullshit because he knows.
Yeah, because he knows, and he's been there. The other great thing that I love too. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, because I watch these things. I also think that of those like WWE reality shows, and I know Marsha and I talked about this with producer lady on episode 1 before, because that's how she started getting into really wrestling, was like Total Divas and shit. But I feel that I love to watch the Miz and Mrs.
They're still going.
'Cause,
Yeah, they are.
You know-
They are.
yeah,
Good for them. You know, I've seen a bit of it.
Yeah,
once in a while catch an episode.
it's great because, like, with her, I've always liked Maurice for some weird reason, because my thing was, I think, in that era of like divas and whatnot, right? Like, you knew, like, with her, it was like, you could tell, like, okay, this is a character. Like with the Bellas, it's like, I don't think it's a character. They just look kind of bitchy. And then Total Divas just proved
Well,
that. But,
Scottsdale, Arizona. Nothing good has
Yeah.
ever come out of Scottsdale. Go ahead at me. I
well,
don't
then
care.
also, weren't they from San Diego? Or were they live in San Diego too? I don't know, whatever. But point of it
Scottsdale.
is that, well, two things about the Bellas, I'll go back into that in a minute, is that with Maurice and him, that whole story was like amazing, because it's so like him. Like when he met her at that, whatever it was, Diva Search or whatnot.
The
She didn't
Diva
really-
search.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
He
she
was
didn't
smitten.
really speak English, and he was smitten and kind of nerdy, and I'm like, you go.
Didn't speak a
go.
lick of French, but was like, I
Nope.
gotta learn now.
I gotta learn now. To this day, I don't think he probably really doesn't know any French, but I
Oh, he
mean,
does.
you look at, well, I know, but not like, like whatever. I'm sure like his kids, talk to, his mother-in-law, like behind his back. He's like, I don't know what they're saying. I'm pretty sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's one of those ones where, like, it's incredible. Like, he's one that I think people don't give him enough credit, and I'm like, I think he's fabulous. I mean, talking about company man, like right now, like when Cena left, I'm like, if there's anybody who's left that's still like traditional company man, that would be fucking the Miz.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, it
No.
was just a newer
Never betrayed the
generation.
company once.
Mm-mm.
Not
No,
even Dolph,
mm-mm.
like Dolph Ziggler. He's a prime example. Never turned his back on the company. Never says a bad word about it. He's like, I
Nope.
did everything I could do and then some. I
Nope.
wanted to do something different, so I
Yep.
did.
John Hennigan or
John
Johnny,
Hennigan.
insert your name. Hennigan's one of them too, and I love that friendship that him and the Miz have. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
it's
hilarious to me. Like on some of the
fucking
episodes,
hilarious.
yeah, they're the best. And Johnny's a good people, and I think that Miz is definitely one of those ones that's really underrated. And
Angel Garza,
Absolutely.
Angel
Hmm?
Garza just said, and mind you, Angel is just now being used again. He's mostly doing house shows, right? And even he said, look, I get paid to show up and do a job, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
If they tell me I have to be somewhere, I'm gonna go be somewhere. It's that simple.
This is what you
these
want
guys
to do.
don't understand.
Mhm.
Yeah, these guys don't understand that, and that is an issue that I have with AEW. There's a lot of people that are there because like if you ask them to do something else, it's like, are you kidding me? No, there's no way. There's a lot of selfishness and a lot of other things because now they've been getting for the last couple of years people who were never on the grind, like the majority of the original AEW people, because
Yeah.
I think that it makes a huge difference from now. People can tell me that I'm wrong by saying it, like, well, Bailey was, how can you say that Bailey was on the right, things like that. I'm like, no, I'm talking about you went and you auditioned for these guys like 3, 4, 5 times in some people's cases. Yes, judgmental behind my shoulder. Yep, you're one of them.
Yep.
4. Anyways, um,
Bailey sure as fuck grinded to get where she was. Holy shit.
She did.
Yeah.
She did, but there's other people who hadn't, and it's kind of like there's almost like an entitlement, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that now, like right now, there is, because honestly, people can argue with me, but like I don't think Britt Baker, she's kind of entitled, and I think for her to come back to assume that she's going to come back and be top dog, no. No.
Well,
I mean, my personal opinion is she lucked into her spot, okay? Because if we want to go there, okay, because people say, well, she's in the original All In. I said, yeah, so were 3 other women. Chelsea Green, but we know where she was going and stuff like that. That was no secret, Okay. 1, 2, Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne was the oldest of the 3, and she definitely was not as talented as any of the other ladies in that match. Okay, that's 2. Number 3, Tessa Blanchard. Let's go there. Tessa Blanchard, of all 4 of those women, was the absolute, and to this day, still the best of them all. Would I have an ego if I were? Fuck yeah, I would. Because, these women can't hold a candle to her. Mercedes Moné can't hold a candle to her. None of them. Charlotte, no, even on Charlotte's best day. Becky probably could go. Becky, I think, and Bailey are probably the 2 that really could go toe to toe. Jordynne Grace, yes and no. But to be honest, like, it's a little different. But I think that, like, Tessa would wipe the floor with Jordynne Grace. So, yeah.
No.
I know she'd make Deonna Purrazzo look amazing. Hey, Kiro, how's it going? Kiro joined us
Hero.
today. Yeah. But Tessa Blanchard, the only reason why she was never signed is because Tessa Blanchard did it to herself, right? That's when you have to ask yourself, she's made amends with people. She's gotten better, okay? My big thing is, if you want the best and you want to have, like, some of that best product, people are assholes across the board. Doesn't matter who you are. I'm sure that the Miz can be an asshole. I know Judgmental behind me is an asshole. They all can be an asshole, and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's like if you want to have some of the best part, you need to have some of the best players that are out there. And I know that, yeah, a lot of people can be difficult to work with, but when we're sitting here and we're talking about Mercedes Moné, it just seems to me like she seems like she's probably difficult to work with. Britt Baker, kind of difficult to work with, because the reality show that they had at AEW, that made her look like a big mega bitch. Okay. And I'm like, who is this supposed to be for? Is it because you're trying to pin a false narrative about people? And I'm talking about Thunder Rosa, if no one knows what I'm trying to hint at. Because it's like, sorry, if you're jealous because she's a better wrestler and probably a better person, which I think personally, 2 for 2 right there, Thunder Rosa is, why are you using this opportunity to bury somebody? Because if you're really that good, and this is what I also even say to like Mercedes and stuff. Have you fought who literally is probably one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, not signed? Yeah. Tessa, I'd love to see that. If you really want to wrestle the best, then do it. Because Tessa's wiped Britt off, made Britt look stupid. And even to this day, I bet you, like, Britt would look like she's like a first year veteran, like a first year rookie. Because there's no way. Gianna Perrazzo, she'd look like wouldn't be that great. Tony Storm would be interesting. Jamie Hayter, yeah, people like that. Obviously, Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. But honestly, let's go there. Like these ones who AEW is putting on a pedestal, they just seems like it's just drama. A lot of big ego, but they don't have anything to really, to put up. It's like, just don't talk.
Yeah.
If you can't, go with, if you have nothing nice to say, the whole thing with Bambi, don't say anything at all. But it's like, I don't know. It's interesting to see, but I'm bored already. I'm bored with Mercedes. Bored with Britt Baker being back. She's only been back like literally 4 days.
Yeah.
Bored.
Yeah. To add to that, talking about, people being assholes in the business or, whatever, all these egos clashing, wherever you go, there's going to be something like that. It's got to be, are you willing to do business with this person? That's what pro wrestling is, doing business. Who was it? I think it was in Memphis in the office. There was a, real problems make make more money. That's what you want. Real issues. And if you can work together, Rollins and Punk, just saying. Punk came back and figured things out with these people one way or another, regardless of how some people feel, about CM Punk,
Oh, there was
he
no love
went
between
back
him
and
and
figured
McIntyre
stuff
either.
out. And now Drew McIntyre, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to look at business, money. You want to make money. This business is about getting yourself over and making money and making pro wrestling a better place than how you found it. You want to entertain the fans. And even if you don't like the person, okay, that's more reason to make even more money, because that's where you can blur the lines and create this reality for people that is, partially true or maybe mostly true. Maybe these two people don't actually like each other, but they are able to work with each other for the greater good of the business because they know it'll make some money.
Yeah, like this has been the first 365 days we've had of Levesque booking, right? Where it's strictly Levesque booking.
Oh, really? It's been
And
a year now?
it's been almost a year now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And in that time, we've seen a revamp and revitalization of the bloodline in a way we never expected to see. We've seen Drew McIntyre brutalize CM Punk and take everything away from him that, people as a shoot, mean something. We've seen just this level of slow burn, the Wyatt Six, that they're 3 for 3 right now, 3 for 3,
Cody
and
Rhodes is champion. I don't know if
Cody
you said
Rhodes
that.
is champion. Oh no, I haven't yet, but I was going to mention, people bitched because there was no instant gratification with the first WrestleMania challenge, and it's like, yeah, but and I think long run, long term story booking is because you want that long term story to keep people invested.
Hashtag we want Cody doesn't happen without Cody Rhodes losing to Roman. I mean, we want Cody also comes with The Rock. I mean, The
Mhm.
Rock coming back and ultimately trying to insert himself into that position. That goes on to what I was telling you guys about. I was watching the WrestleMania 40 behind the scenes documentary. I mean, Cody Rhodes, that wasn't supposed to happen. Cody Rhodes literally knew the day of the Rumble, it was going to be The Rock and Roman. That was it. Like, that was literally said. Rock and Roman was locked in for Mania 40. Triple H had already told Cody. Cody didn't like that, but Cody had a certain way that he felt about it. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's The Rock. The Rock's on the TKO board. What are you gonna say? Oh, you know what? Screw you, Rock. You're the board of director. This is my opportunity. No, that's not how you act. I mean, that's like I said, being professional, not going into business for yourself. I mean, Cody Rhodes is a professional. He's a Rhodes. He knows business. Make money, whatever it's gonna be. He's
And
just gonna go with the flow, whether or not he, liked the outcome. I mean, like what could have been the outcome? It could have been Rock and Roman, but luckily, The Rock was like, okay, I don't like that there's a segment of fans that are really upset at what's gonna happen, that they're upset at me because that they feel I'm taking this spot from a guy, that they've been building this story up for 2 years now with Roman. And of course, Cody Rhodes wins the title. The Rock also helped, add to that. And, him,
yeah,
getting involved in the Cody Rhodes storyline made it a bigger deal because he in turn started the hashtag we want Cody. And it really showed how many fans are behind Cody, and it ultimately boosted Cody Rhodes up as a star.
it's like Brian Danielson with the whole Occupy and all that. That was, the fans wanted him, and that's, to Cena's point, because he generally doesn't work script, is, the fans will tell you what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kofi Mania.
Yep.
Mhm.
I mean, we can just go down the line. The return of Bray Wyatt. They didn't want it, but they saw how much money they were losing not having it,
Yeah.
and it took.
I-
Mhm.
There's a new hashtag that's out there.
What's that?
That whole "We Want Marty."
Mm-hmm.
I wish people would realize how much money is being left off the table.
Who says
Just
people
saying.
don't notice?
Nope. 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 Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
It
Nope.
sucks that, somebody can, quote unquote in the eyes, make a mistake and be shunned for, the rest of their life and have their career ruined for it. I mean, at some point, eventually a second chance comes around for everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
But
there's certain people in this business that don't deserve it.
Oh,
There are some who do and some who don't.
Or some
absolutely.
who've already exhausted that second.
Yeah, there's some
chance.
people, who've, important thing is to know that that person has learned from their mistakes. I mean, nobody's
Mhm.
perfect.
No.
Nobody on this earth is perfect.
No.
That's because
My
Kurt
big
Hennig died.
But if you learn from your mistakes and you show that you've gotten better, that's when it's like,
Yeah.
okay, this person's still grinding out on the independent scene. Okay, let's see. They've been doing this for a while. They were hot for a while at one point. Something happened along the way, but now they're starting to build themselves back up. Let's see what we can do with this person. Let's bring
Yeah.
him in. Let's take a chance. I mean, sometimes it's a ball. It's a ball you have to be willing to give somebody, and it comes with a lot of money behind it. That's the
I
scary thing for companies. A company, like more specifically WWE, because they're very specific about who they sign, and they know specifically you can only make so many stars at once. They take their time. They don't throw they realize you can't, throw the world title on everybody at once. You can't throw the WWE championship on everybody at once.
and
And
the stars that they make have longevity.
Braun Breaker is going to be that guy. I'm just
Yep.
stating facts. I mean,
No,
we're just
you're
looking
right.
at the guy.
Mhm.
You're looking at Braun Breaker. He is that guy. He's going to be the future of WWE. There's no doubt about it. Unless something happens to him where he gets hurt or paralyzed, dude's
Yeah.
a superstar already. Like he's Braun Breaker's gonna be the guy. That's
And
Oh yeah.
the nice thing about him is it's very evident it has nothing to do with who his dad and his uncle are.
it's who
With
he
everything-
is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he made that distinction. That's why he didn't come in there with his family surname. He went in there entirely different, made no beef about it, and it was the Marks that dug up who his family was.
And then and then they rekindled that relationship. It allowed. So think about it this way: Braun Breaker got himself so over that WWE rekindled their relationship with what was really dirtied up between the Steiners and WWE. It was pretty bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't Ultimate Warrior in WWE, but
Yeah,
kind of
but-
thing. But the Steiners and WWE weren't on the bestest of terms, and Braun Breaker, being their next big star, was able to form that relationship back together. So if that says anything about where a guy like Braun Breaker's going, it says a lot. A guy like
Yeah.
Austin Theory, who's on the brink of what could be a huge babyface turn, and the fans are about to be ready for. I mean, they're ready for it. I
It's
mean,
like Otis right now.
yeah,
The-
Otis.
The
Mhm.
entire Alpha Academy, for fuck's sake, are more relevant now than they've been
Yeah.
prior to Sami Zayn. And
Mhm.
add into
Absolutely.
that, like, holy hell.
Absolutely. And then you take a look at what Chad Gable was about to do with the Creed brothers, because that ultimately is going to be like a Team Angle, 2024 version of it in some sense of the word. And I think that works out so well. They all have that, amateur background wrestling style. I mean, it's going to work out perfectly. And speaking of the Creed brothers, one of my friends had sent me the graphics that both Creed brothers are going to be on the next Bloodsport,
Nice.
which is a cool opportunity
Interesting.
for them.
The one in Japan, right? Or not Japan.
Oh. No, that one just happened. The one in
That
Japan
one
just happened.
There's a new one that's coming.
Yes, it's on. Give me a second. I'm going to tell you in just a second. I just want
'Cause I know
my sister-
Shane is doing it again.
Who? Shane? Oh yes,
Shayna
Shayna is doing it
yeah.
again. I did hear that. Yes.
They're doing that for Shayna because it gives her that release. Like,
It's in Brooklyn. It's going to be in Brooklyn on the 28th of this month.
Yeah,
and it
Shayna.
it
The
also
big thing
rebuilds her
was-
credibility.
Yeah, not only that too, but also like Barnett really wanted her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like he
Oh,
really
yeah.
pushed for that, because I know that that she because that was a huge thing for her. I think Marina's doing it again. Marina's probably
Marina's
doing
for
it
sure.
again.
The problem
Fair,
child
yeah.
is doing it. Yes.
The problem is doing it. Yeah, she should. I mean, it's one of those ones where I think that not are they having God, why am I blanking on her name? The gal that beat Shayna at the underground. Is she gonna do Bloodsport too, or are they just gonna let we're
I
gonna keep Shane into this?
don't know. Like,
Okay.
that's something they've talked about. I do know that the WWE TNA collaboration is still definitely going,
Yeah.
which I'm here for. Like, everybody's making money.
Yeah, I
here.
mean, and they're doing something right because they I know what they did something interesting. The fans weren't happy with it about Joe Hendry getting thrown out, but think long term. They weren't happy at all. But
No,
No.
I'll tell you this,
that was the
he's
point.
going to come back in a bigger way, and it's going to get a better reaction. And ultimately, I don't know if, obviously the goal is to end up, for him, I'm sure, want to get signed by WWE, but you also don't want to be like, oh, hey, I'm just using this to get to WWE. I mean, not straight up. You don't straight up want to say that to your current employer. But
I don't even
ultimately,
think
that's kind of
that's
the
the
goal.
case.
Do business
I
and
think,
do
yeah.
right by this. It's a good showing without already being signed by WWE. You get to take this opportunity, being a part of a different company. That's what's so cool about like a collaboration like this with WWE and TNA, because WWE doesn't always do this. Has never done this in the past. This is a
Nope.
pretty big deal. to
The
allow
most-
stars like this on your show, you know, at random times, sending your stars to TNA shows, to TNA
Mm.
tapings. I mean, that's a
And it's
pretty big
happened.
deal. And you have
Like-
to really, you know, this is a big opportunity to show that you have it. And Joe Hendry, that pop he got, already showed that, you know, he's the guy. I mean, he's him. I mean, Carmelo Hayes says that, but Joe Hendry is him.
No,
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes lost all level of street cred the moment he got into the ring with LA Knight.
Yeah, LA Knight just on the mic. That was tough to
destroyed
watch.
his ass.
Well,
No,
my thing with Carmelo Hayes is that I love Carmelo. Okay, please don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say. Is I feel that with Carmelo Hayes, he spent a little bit too much time down in NXT because I think that anything that they could have like really gotten him some momentum with fizzled before he even got there. So, but I don't know. That's just me.
Well, we'll see what happens. You know, maybe he ends up winning Money in the Bank. You never know.
I don't think they're gonna put it on him.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
that wasn't
think-
who I predicted when I did my predictions, but you
It's
just
got to be. If it's not LA Knight,
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, you know, one thing I looked at. I mean, I know we're not doing a Money in the Bank predictions, but what I will
Yeah.
say about that is, I mean, LA Knight and Logan Paul. LA Knight's gonna get taken out by Logan Paul. Chad Gable's gonna
think
get taken out by the Wyatt Six. And I said, you know, what I was thinking is with Drew. I mean, it's a very interesting thing for Drew because he may end up taken out by Punk directly, or maybe, you know, that comment to AJ Lee might just be like, oh, hey, let's bring AJ Lee out, get that pop. But it, or even, you know, even I had this thought in my mind. I'm like, what if they go with, you know, what if Drew McIntyre wins the Money in the Bank? What if it's like Punk lets McIntyre win the Money in the Bank? That's part of his game plan. But when the moment Drew McIntyre cashes in and the bell rings, that's when Punk costs him the title. Play the long game
Yep.
just to mess with McIntyre.
that's probably what's going to happen. But like as
And
much as
that-
like LA
That's
Knight,
great. Though,
I want
and
him to win. But yeah, no, that's the only thing is, it's like how is like Punk's going to let him have one, because Punk's going to be back around, around times where he probably would cash it in.
Yeah,
you know?
and
So yeah.
And I even
And people
mentioned
do
as like a
something.
joke, I was like, one of my last predictions, I was like, what if CM Punk was like a surprise seventh entrant? Because some WWE's done that in the past. What if
yeah,
they did that? Punk, the seventh entrant, who's like, oh my God, Punk's here. Punk is Mr. Money in the Bank for the third time in his career. I mean, it's the story could almost write itself, but I mean, it
I-
could easily be Jay Uso. I mean, but
Yeah.
in terms of what we're talking about, I mean, there's just so many things that can happen. I mean,
I
and-
could see a world where Drew McIntyre is just fingertips away from putting that in a briefcase. Then AJ's music hits. The crowd goes fucking nuts and a half. And Jay takes that distraction to get it. I could see that a thing
oh yeah.
because she's been dragged into it now.
Yeah, she has been. I mean, the family's been messed up. Wait till Drew gets bit. Wait till Drew gets bit by Larry. I mean, you don't.
There's gonna fuck somebody up. Now, I know he's not your favorite person, but clearly something has changed for the man to literally look like he's been destroyed, walked up to fucking on the ramp, dumped, and had a very personal object everybody knows about taken off of him, and looked like he just got stomped the fuck out. Nobody has done that to him before, and nobody's done that to him since. So there is some level of difference here that is happening, and it's making money. Drew is
Oh yeah,
carrying
that's what I was
Drew.
gonna say because they know. I
Yeah.
think Punk at this point kind of has an idea. That this feud calls for stuff like that. You know, it's a big money feud. It might be the biggest feud in WWE right now. I mean, of course, besides Rhodes and the Bloodline, which is still building up, and still more people are getting involved. We don't even know where that's going. The bigger feud might be. It's gonna lead to Rock and Roman, but that's
Nah.
later.
I-
That's much later.
So they got rid. Here's my prediction with that, since they're all over the fucking card, right? Wise man Paul Heyman is out. Rikishi, wise man, is in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yep.
And
I can see
then
that.
Paul Heyman comes back with Roman Reigns and the Usos, and one of those Fatus is gonna turn.
Well, here's only thing about that. If in the chance that they put the Money in the Bank on Jay, what do you? I mean, what do? You can't put the world title. You can't put the world title on Jay because ultimately Gunther is the next world champion. It's very clear that Gunther is going into Bash in Berlin as world champion,
As he should.
as he should. I mean, not that I'm saying it's crystal clear as day, but I mean, Gunther's that guy. I mean, Gunther's
He's
the
the-
guy.
He's
Like-
the guy they let break an historic Intercontinental record.
Yeah, they had enough faith in him, and he delivered. I mean, Gunther has delivered on every match he's been a part of. He is a wrestler's wrestler. I mean, and he's got it on promos. He's like this old school bully wrestler. He's got it, and they see that. That's like it adds like a different flavor to wrestling. You know what they say? What's old is new again.
Yeah.
And that old flavor of what pro wrestling used to be is there within Gunther. And I'm not gonna say 100%. It's clear as day he's gonna be the world champion by SummerSlam. After the result of SummerSlam, but it seems to be that way. And with Bash in Berlin right after, like a month, a month later.
Something that is kind of there with long-term storytelling is you're going to have these little intermittent points in between to the bigger story, right?
Yeah.
So there's no reason that some of these things can't happen. Because right now we're theory crafting based on what we know. Like, I think the Wyatt Six at some juncture, probably Saturday,
Yeah.
is going to probably take Chad Gable out for a while.
Absolutely. I don't know how long they're gonna. I don't even know if it's gonna be a while. They might cost them the match.
They're fucking with him, yeah, but I think they're gonna make him a legit victim.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost feeling like the long term there. I mean, like that first feud for the Wyatt Six is Gable and the Creed brothers with Ivy Nile. It almost seems like that's where they're gonna go with it at first, and that's not a bad idea. It's a good thing to it'll help. I mean, it could do something for either parties, do something for both of them, depending on how it's executed. It's tough to say how it's going to be executed.
Win or lose, it doesn't matter. But I do think that your first feud with the Wyatt Six should not be a loss on their end.
Absolutely not. It should be something different, and they don't even need to have a match right away. They need to claim, do what they're doing right now. These interesting promos, these VHS vignettes, they're great. I mean,
and now that we've got the Uncle Howdy story with Bo Dallas,
yeah,
since they're calling him by his shoot name now, they're calling him Taylor. We're probably going to start seeing vignette on everybody else. We're going to see something more. And that's so far so good. But we talked about it when we had all four of the normal crew here with us. The expectations were set up here. Anything less than up here is going to tank everything that was up here. So far, they're doing good. It's been really insightful, informative, and fun, but it's that dark kind of fun. Fans are still super into it. Even if it's just a vignette on Mondays, people are just waiting for it. And they're kind of using, oh, Chad Gable's going to be on TV. They're going to fuck with him. All right, let's go. Which is neat because for a while there, nobody gave a fuck about Chad Gable's existence.
Yeah.
Now he's a walking victim.
Yeah, and Chad Gable, being announced for television is ultimately an indirect way of saying, hey, this is when you should tune in because this is probably when the Wyatt Six is going to show up. I
And they've
apologize.
been working. It's been about mid-product.
Yeah, and it's basically saying, it allows, the WWE to say, here's the Wyatt Six. This is when they're going to show up without, making it seem like, oh, we're going to announce these guys. These guys are supposed to show up unannounced because that's their thing. That's the aura of them. They show up when they want. It's creepy, and that's exactly why it's so it's so good for Gable. It gets eyes on Gable too, even if he's the victim long term. However it plays out with him and the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, I mean, long term we'll see how it plays out, but ultimately it gets eyes on everybody. That's how you get people over. You work
Yeah.
together, and going back to earlier, you work together, you get each other over, you make money. Ultimately, it's not always about wins and losses. There's other ways to make it in the pro wrestling business. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's also it's positioning, right place, right time kind of deal as well.
And I absolutely agree with that. We're looking at, because I think we've got maybe another bit before they finally, put him down, or whatever they're gonna do, whatever the end game is with Chad Gable. Then it's going to be a matter of who's the next target, and they're going to sort of shift their focus. And when you see this person, then they're going to happen. They're going to have to keep getting creative with it. There is a shelf life here for that style of run, but right now it's done nothing but help Chad Gable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the possibilities are endless for him. I mean, if it weren't for the Wyatt Six targeting him, you almost could think he could be Mr. Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been that. I mean, it would be a great opportunity to put him right up there. But even going back to like how we're talking about Money in the Bank, it's almost like who you fitting into what storyline, because ultimately you kind of want to give the idea that this person's going to take the title off whoever they're planning to cash in on, or cost, or get, or something happens. That's why that's why you look at a guy like Drew and think, okay, Punk's gonna let him win. Punk's not gonna show up. Punk's gonna show up when Drew cashes in. The bell's already rung because he's smart. That's the whole thing. Punk and mind games. Much like Drew and their mind games, their feud has been so psychological. It has been so, refreshing for wrestling fans to see something that is actually a story that's playing out and not just not a dream match. I mean, it's going to be a match that the people want. It's being made as a match that we now want to see.
Well, and that's something. My first 6 months with Amanda, we would bitch out consistently. Is that these are not every match is a dream match, and not every dream match needs to be seen every week.
Yeah.
And that's something I like about this long-term storytelling sort of aspect that is finally pivoted back in WWE, is that we're seeing that long-term story where there are those that have never gotten the time of day in the spotlight getting a shot. We're seeing people from other companies, which is going to be TNA, Noah, and Marigold. Those are your four. As Jordan Grace put it, prohibitive portal, because she was being an asshole. Here for it. But there is so much more happening in that realm. You're watching things changing that's respecting the mark who knows where somebody came from. Like mentions of, more than just, NJPW title, more than just that. I mean, now you're hearing, about TNA. Now you're hearing about a lot more of people's careers that fans already know, but they act like it's taboo on TV when it's not. It doesn't matter. It matters to a degree where somebody came from, but you're telling this is where their story is and where they're going. They'll use the phrase "made it to the big time," and they're not wrong. And you're being judged.
It's too much talk about Phil Brooks for my liking.
Well, we have now drifted to an in general.
Yeah.
You know,
I just like, it's
what
funny
is your
because
what is your favorite long term story going on right now?
in where there isn't any.
WWE. There
There is
isn't any.
well to me right now, like
Mhm.
honestly, like Drew's hatred of Phil just warms my cold dead heart.
Did you see what he did to him on that SmackDown?
Which one?
The where you
In
know
Chicago.
the one in
The one in
Chicago where didn't that feel good? Wasn't it a feel good moment for you?
Yeah, it is, but I also didn't need people to be leaking. Let me just think in my head that he got carted off in an ambulance.
He did.
And he didn't. Well, you
Well,
don't
those-
have to show me the footage, like fans showing me footage of him driving out of that fucking
That was
Verizon.
the best part.
Verizon.
I'm
I
like,
was like, come on, just let me in my mind enjoy the fact that I think that Phil got carted out. Come on now, people.
Well,
Come on.
at least he
people.
didn't show up 35 minutes later after being bloodied and thrown on the ring ramp. Back in the same ambulance.
Doesn't matter. But no. Honestly, right now, I'm really curious to see where they're gonna take Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
Honestly.
yeah, I can agree on that.
The
My big
enforcer.
thing with I mean, if there's anybody truly who I just have to laugh at the stupidity of wrestling fans. Okay. A lot of people were kind of like Samoan werewolf. Oh, he's ripping this shit off of MJF. Okay. Again, like the font. Okay, MJF or whatever.
Well, he didn't give a shit.
No one gives a shit. Like, it's the same fucking generic old English font like on Adobe. And don't make me open up Photoshop right now. Actually, I'm going to because you know what? I am that kind of person. I am kind of petty. Like, it's like, come on now. Like, if you're going to use some kind of generic, like little font, and let me see here. God bless, God bless, God bless frickin' goddamn Photoshop. So,
I use GIMP
yeah.
because I'm a cripple.
Well, hey, those who can do, right? Yeah, it's just some freaking basic goddamn like old English script that they got off of Photoshop. Get over it, wrestling fans. Get over it, okay? Right? He's been the Samoan werewolf for God. I've been seeing Jacob Fatu wrestle at least since like what 2014, 2015, maybe earlier.
Yep.
Then that, yeah,
That was his gimmick.
Yeah, it's been his gimmick. Okay, and everyone's like, "Damn, how to get so swole?" I'm really right now. I think the big thing is because our eyes are deceiving us. Because one, he's wearing boots now, which he was always a barefoot wrestler, and also he's not wearing his little biker shorts and sarong combo. So for some of us who've been seeing him for many years and whatnot, it's like, good God, damn, he dropped a lot of weight, and I'm like, no, I think his costuming has everything to do with it. That, and he's been doing a lot of like upper body workout too, but he's always been fucking
Well, it's like
that though.
New AJ Styles ate the old AJ Styles, and that's how he got so swole.
Yeah. Now, does anyone know? Speaking of that stupid old English font, is MFT motherfucking Tongan or what? Is that what it's supposed to be? Okay, because I didn't know what the.
They have never
what
addressed
acronym
it,
was.
but that's what MFT is.
I thought somebody
Yeah.
said it was My Family Tree or something like that.
No, motherfucking Tongan.
That's so like not on.
Yeah, I know.
Tonga brand. Like, come on.
Oh, come on. The reason why
Fun.
Tonga doesn't cut promos is because they don't have the F button bleep going out fast enough.
Yeah, they can't do that.
Yeah. He has great promo skills, just no filter.
We don't want the whole fuck it. Yeah, like, oh yeah,
True, man.
I'm like, yeah. And I'm also waiting. It's like, okay, are you gonna bring other people? Like, are we gonna see like fucking Fale? We're gonna see some of these other goddamn offshoots, Juicy for now. They just inquiring minds want to know because there's a lot of Islander folk around.
Lance
Just
on
asking.
Hawaii.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Mhm,
Juicy
Lance on
and
Hawaii.
Lance will be brought in together as a they're a tag team. I'm assuming
And
they
there
come
are other Fatus. Zilla, unfortunately, right
Zilla.
now is too.
Under
I
20
think he needs a
matches.
little. He's under 20. He's under 10 still.
Oh,
So
he's at 13. He's had
oh,
13
he's at
matches.
13 now. Oh, okay. He
Oh
must
yeah,
have
that's
a
what
bunch of
somebody
shirts.
said. Somebody, because I was listening, I was like, how many matches has he actually had? And I was like, okay, it's still under 20. He's still got some time.
I thought it was still under 10.
Somebody
Because
said it was
as
13
of
matches. So I'm just going with somebody. Somebody
Yeah.
said 13.
Okay. I don't remember because I thought all of like as of at least what was it when JCW was in LA the last time a couple weeks ago, and then they did Mesa. I thought it was still under 10, but I could
Yeah.
be totally like between 5 and 10. I thought it was in there, but either way. And then I'm like, yeah, and you guys aren't going to see Journey because Journey's the one. If you thought Jacob had a record, yeah. Although it would be nice to see South Pacific Savages together.
Well,
but on that
one of them.
Hikuleo.
Yeah.
Hikuleo, he's up in the end of the year.
Yep.
His contract already expired.
I thought he was there at least until the end of the year.
He had an extension.
They extended him. I thought his contract expired already.
No, they extended him.
Huh.
And speaking of contracts that have expired, just so you all know, the judgmental one behind me, as of June 30th, his contract he is no longer officially contracted with AEW. Although you can ask Tony Khan, and if you went back a couple of weeks, it seemed like back at the end of May he wasn't contracted. But you know what? Whatever. I'm just saying.
Absolutely
So,
on the way to the Fed.
I don't know. Right now he's with quotes like one over my shoulder and some other things that have been said and thrown around.
Maybe not.
I mean, to be fair,
he needs to cool down a little bit. He needs to get out of people's mouths and minds because it's negative.
I was gonna say that they have the GOD where one half of that team can barely travel based on violent criminal felonies.
Are you talking about the guy that which one are you talking about? There's a couple people who have felonies.
Of the GOD?
Oh, of the GOD. Oh, the other one. Yes. Well, also you got to remember Fatu as well. Kind of limited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. I mean, you got lax on their, marijuana usage because how was Riddle around that long?
So Riddle, RVD.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, did we mention that on episode 1 about how Matt Riddle is now doing birthday parties?
Yeah.
For hire? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little weird and sad. They're adult men. They were adult men.
Yeah.
A little weird.
Money's money.
Anyway. I wouldn't pay Matt Riddle.
I wonder what he did to piss off ICW.
ICW. IWC?
No, ICW.
ICW.
Ireland Championship Wrestling. You've never heard of it. Nobody cares. It's small.
Okay, I don't know. He pisses a lot of people off, but that's different reasons because he's an asshole. But whatever. No, I'd say if you're going back to the whole what's my favorite long-term storyline, well, you know what? Honestly, I'll say this. the Elite kind of fucked up bringing Hangman back. One, I
Mhm.
had faith in that. Why are you going to bring back someone you fired?
Yeah.
I don't understand, but you know, whatever. I thought it was right and the time is right for that. I was hoping it was going to be Marty. But at the end of the day, you have to look at the end game with it, because right now in the finals, um, it's Danielson Hangman on the men's side,
Yeah.
and we all know what it's going to do is it's giving the winner the shot against Swerve at all in, and I firmly believe that Danielson is going into it and he's going to beat Swerve there, because being full time, I think that on his way out, because if we've learned anything from these guys, like bigger guys, like retiring on Tony Khan's watch, he likes to make sure they have a belt on them or going into their last match with a belt on them. Even if Danielson with this one, he would want to have that done, but because his last match technically is going to be at Wrestle Dream in Tacoma in the Pacific Northwest, I think it's only fitting the last match he has as a full time wrestler is sort of getting that title back from him, because I can see that happening. Because it's fitting, because it's hometown people. Unless all of a sudden Darby Allin's well enough, which he needs to take a long break, or that guy's not going to have a career in like 3 years from now, because he's
If that.
paralyzed from the neck down or something stupid. But like, I think that that's kind of where that lies. But it's kind of dumb. Because why are you doing that with Hangman? One, and then two, why are you? That's a real dumb story, you know. So that's weird. But Marty would have been great, because of the fact that it would have given him an out, way to go back in. A lot of people would have been pissed off, but who the fuck cares? I don't care. But I also think that it's very telling, because during one of the montages, for the first time, Marty was not either A, cut out, or B, like kind of blurred out of something, because there was a photo that they showed. It was the Bucks, Hangman, and Marty were in the photo. And that was telling to me. Like, I was like, I was like, he's coming. Yay! But I guess no. So I don't have a long-term storyline, because there isn't anything. I mean, honestly, like, there really isn't. I mean, I'm just more right now. Please don't give Will Ospreay the title. Thank God they did not.
They will.
And please, not anytime soon. I'm sorry.
Before the end of the year,
It's
it's
got
gonna happen.
No.
You don't think so?
not the big one. No. Mm-mm. I really don't think so. I really don't,
Ooh.
because if they it's the match that they're, I think, leading to at what they're trying to hint at All In.
Is MJF and
Yeah, I have there's no interest in that. There is nothing rewarding out of that. Nothing. You know, because you've got the most over person in that company in MJF.
yeah?
And you've got Osprey, who's basically being spoon fed and forced upon us. And let's be real, yeah, he's going to get that pop because he's the hometown boy at Wembley. But I would not be surprised if MJF has the same amount of pop. too,
Yeah.
because he's very beloved. I mean, that's his company. So I really don't think if Osprey Osprey will beat MJ. I'm calling it now. He's gonna beat MJF at All In, because you can't have Billy Boy, you know, lose on his turf. That you can't have. So, but no, I don't think so, because I think the biggest thing was originally when he came in, he wasn't even supposed to have a belt. Period. And how quickly that ended, and he was fine not having it, because he just wanted to be on TV and all this other stuff. But it's getting old. Like it really is. It's like one of the things that was said during the Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné. This is how awful these promos are. Like something that it was said that um, they were going back between the word bitch. Okay, one of the things that came up was, I don't, the fans don't need to have to chant my name, you know, in my entrance music. And I'm like, a lot of people have that now. Where have you been, Britt Baker? Because that was the biggest thing, is when like Osprey came, was the big deal of they had his name in there because it makes for great fan moments when they chant the person's name. I think I think it's stupid, but that's just me. Because I'm like, why are you pandering to me? Like, don't pander to me. I'm going to cheer for who I'm going to cheer for. And just because someone's name is said in a song does not mean that it's audience participation. This is not Rocky Horror. That's how I feel about Judas. But one thing, I don't know. Now with this learning tree shit, I'm like, kind of like, can we at least bring Judas back? Because when I hear that learning tree music, I know that he's just going to keep talking and talking, and it's just boring as hell. So, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think that, I think that I'm a little, as we come into All In season, I had this real interesting, I guess this really made me upset. It's a very interesting opinion. I really, 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 I wished that the Bucks or other people who were involved in All In, the original All In, didn't allow Tony to fucking get that name. Because people now refer to the original one as AEW's, the first AEW All In. And they refer to that one, the original one, as that. And I'm like, that was, AEW wasn't even a company then. It was barely, not even a thought at that time. Okay. And it just irritates me how dumb the internet wrestling community, yes, and I'm going out and saying it without the acronym, how dumb you are. It's like, I'm offended by that. Like, there were no comps given at that show, even though there were lots of celebrities there. I know for a fact there were not comps. Okay. Tony Khan paid for a ticket. All right. So it's funny that I had a better ticket than Tony Khan. True. It's on film. You can see it. But that, I just really am irritated that people are like, oh, that was AEW's first All In. Was that? It was not. If anything, it was ROH, but because ROH had heavy involvement with it.
Yeah.
But even then, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just called All In. There was no promotion behind it. Yes, they used and yes, they had some New Japan people and stuff. So yes, technically the ring, yes, it was ROH's ring, and yes, they used ROH production. But that's who they all were kind of contracted with at the time. So, I mean, and New Japan. So Tony Khan had nothing to do with that. He was just still a fanboy attending all these events. but he didn't meet them then. So that's if anything, that's where they kind of met and stuff, and there was talks behind it, you know. But to be quite real, sometimes I wish that they would have, I don't know, done something a little different. And if they had held more of those shows and just basically treated it like fundraising to start a company, that probably would be better for them. But then again, you know, the wrestling world wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be where it is now. But there would be a lot of different things. So it's always the
Yeah.
big what if, you know, when you look at it. But it's also interesting that they announced when All Out is. And if I am not mistaken, by looking at the calendar,
A week apart, probably again.
no, it's not. It's 2 weeks apart.
Same, pretty much.
But it's not Labor Day weekend. That's where
Oh.
it's different. That's where I was like, wait a minute, what? And I had to look at it again. It's not Labor Day weekend,
When is it?
if I'm not mistaken. Let me put my calendar before I open my mouth, because it's probably someone's gonna be out. That's
Was
not
the
true.
11th?
You're dumb. Hold on. Let me see. Here, I think it is. Hold on, let me see. I have only one screen today, so I apologize, guys. God damn it. I don't want this. Why can't I? Oh, here. Hold on. Here, people's. I need. Yes, it is the because Labor Day is on the 2nd of September. It's that next weekend after. So the Friday is going to be Collision. Saturday is going to be All Out. Yeah.
The 10th?
It's the 6th is the Friday, September 6th. That's
What am I-
Collision.
Oh, it's September. I was looking at August.
Yeah, September. No,
Okay.
September. Yeah, and then the 7th is All Out. And yeah. It's not Labor
Okay.
Day weekend. anymore,
Interesting.
which is weird to me. I wonder why, one. Because that's kind of part of what that kind of tradition is.
Yeah.
And so if you're breaking tradition, okay, here's my thought. Yesterday I was on my X account and I said, I really wish that in Chicago shows now we went back to having the pro wrestling tees guys having the first couple of rows hard cam, because I'm tired of the same people over and over again in Chicago. Because these people are almost at every damn pay-per-view in the front row or two. And they're stale. They're stale people. And I really wish that, you know, I don't know. Last year was great for them because they went to the West Coast. They were a little bit more evenly distributed as far as where they did shows. Because now Texas is getting a whole 3 weeks in Texas of AEW. And I'm like, why Texas of you're going back to places that you were before. And especially you don't have people who, judgmental over my shoulder over here, who's from Texas. Well, one of his Texas resides now. He's not under contract. He's not going to be doing anything, And then the people who you do have, you're probably not going to highlight. You're not going to highlight Thunder Rosa. Yeah, this is the only times you're going to see, Lance Archer wrestle. I mean, but still, it's just really, really weird. And I just don't know, it just seems so exclusive now, of everybody else, because Pacific Northwest is only getting Wrestle Dream, which is fine. But I don't know where everything else is going to lie in where they are. So like Wrestle Dream this year is October the 12th. And I don't know where they're going to be because WWE is on the West Coast around that time. Because I know in September there's some shows that WWE is doing in, at least in my area. Like I know the 20th SmackDown is here. And that's an interesting one for me because I'm curious because obviously that's going to be the first time Jacob Fatu comes like back home, quote unquote. So that'll be a good one. Because we're not getting Raw's not coming here. Raw I think is where was it? I think it's in Oregon. So they'll get a house show, but we actually get SmackDown. It's weird because usually we would get one and then the other in like San Jose, but that's not happening. It's kind of strange, or in San Francisco, or Oakland, so that's not happening. But yeah, it's just really weird. So who knows? I don't know, but it just seems like they're, reverting. I know next week will be interesting with the Owen is next weekend. I don't know if you've seen who's in the bracket, but the women's, I know the semifinals are the second semifinal match. Like right now, Willow is going to be going up to possibly being the two-time winner. And we'll know, I think it's on Collision this week. It's Myra May versus Hikaru Shida. Who do you kind of feel might be the lady for that?
I gotta see this thing. I'm gonna search up this bracket. Honestly,
Yeah, take a look at the Owen Hart bracket. Like, it's very interesting. The women's match, the women's side is interesting in the fact that we just yesterday had Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale, and I kind of knew that Willow was going to repeat, at least to get to the finals. Whether or not she wins it, I personally myself don't think she's going to win it. Myself.
is it filled up? Is this tournament already like underway?
Next week is the finals in Calgary. So,
Oh, next week is the finals. Who's in the finals of the men, and said who's in the finals of the women's?
The women's, we only know that Willow is in the finals. The next match is on Saturday. It's Hikaru Shida versus Myra May. For the second spot.
Okay. So Hikaru Shida defeated Diana, and Mariah defeated Saraya. Okay. So it's gotta be Willow Nightingale and Mariah in the finals.
I think Mariah is gonna win it because that's where
the story is, because she gets a guaranteed title shot. Yeah, that makes sense. She's gonna.
So that's where I see that.
That's smart. What does that go?
Yeah.
What is that? All in?
All in.
That's smart because she's
Mariah
from
from
across
England.
the pond too, Mariah.
Yep. Mariah's from England. Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be good for her. All I have to say is I miss Jamie Hayter.
I do too.
Where is she?
I miss Jamie Hayter 1. I'm sad that she's not back to be it all in.
Yeah,
this year.
That's unfortunate.
And
you never know.
2, you never know. But also, I hope she doesn't align herself again with Britt Baker. She needs to separate herself.
She needs to be her own star.
She needs to be her own star.
She was her own star for that little bit. Like we saw, like that there was. It's there when she was champion. It's there.
But no, and that just makes me sad. I miss her a lot. Her new figure is out. I haven't been able to find her yet in the wild.
And men's side of things.
Men's side of things, it's Danielson versus
Hangman Page, right?
Hangman Page. Yep, Hangman Page. That's where I said Danielson's gonna win it because.
Oh, that's right. You're saying the title.
The title, because he'll beat Swerve, and then I could see Swerve just like fucking no, how did I let this fucking part timer, win it? But because the biggest thing they're building up is the fact that because Bryan Danielson's been with AEW for 3 years, he's not held a belt. Which I think is, that's been the thing. His story has been he's going part time, and everyone is saying he's never had the belt. He's been there 3 years, never had the belt. He's the most like, selfless person, which I think of any of these guys that came over, that was the way to go. Was don't let him have let these guys have belt after belt each time. These big guys. Let someone come in, let these guys
Make a star.
Yeah.
veteran and make stars, you know what I mean? And so that's where like I feel that with Danielson, it's okay to have that story and have him beat Swerve where Swerve gets it back in the Pacific Northwest.
Where are they
Because that's-
for Wrestle Dream?
Wrestle Dream is going to be Seattle, Tacoma.
Oh,
Tacoma Dome.
so we're
Where where Swerve is built.
what's right? They're both from Washington.
Uh-huh.
That's an even bigger story, right? That's a
Mhm.
that's an even better. Okay, I see. Okay, I see.
So you can see where I'm saying with it.
But I
And
almost
also-
see Hangman. I almost, in a way, see Hangman winning to revisit. Nah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Hangman's. That's not saying that's my prediction. But what I'm saying is,
Hangman
I
and
also
Swerve.
Hangman
Yeah.
Swerve again. But does any? I don't know who wants to see that. I mean, I don't.
I
It's
mean,
art.
I'll say this. As a person who was there for God, was I there for all three of them? Hold on. There was Full Gear, which was the woo,
With the fork.
that one was at the Forum. That one was like holy shit. Like the first couple minutes, like yeah, I was like, holy God, that match was amazing.
That was the
Wrestle
bloody
Dream
brawl
Big
one, right?
That was the bloody brawl.
Where Hangman, what
Wrestle
was it? The fork got involved. Did somebody lick a fork or blood?
No, Hangman. Oh yeah, that's right. He did the whole vampire thing. He sucked his blood and then spit it
Oh,
out.
that's what it was.
Because it was like right, like in front, like basically almost in front of me. Like I saw him like bite, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was great. Like I love Hangman Page. I don't want people to get me wrong. I love Hangman. I just didn't think that it's stupid that he was fired and then they brought him back.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
kind of counterproductive, but
Yeah, and then did they? Okay, and they wrestled one more, but I don't think I was there because I went to the 2 pay-per-views in a row. I went to 3 pay-per-views last year, or PLEs, because I have 3 chairs. But Revolution was way down the line. That was a whole different one. But no, I don't mind because they had amazing matches. They had an amazing chemistry that it was like these guys fucking hate each other. And it's beautiful, and they told a beautiful story each of those matches, and it was amazing. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but you got to keep in mind though, is Danielson is kind of quote unquote wrapping it up.
yeah,
That and Tony Khan, obviously,
we saw what
judgmental
happened with
behind
Sting.
me.
Yep.
Saw what happened with Sting. Judgmental didn't like that, and neither did Sting. Whatever. That's where, like, I know Tony. Yeah, that's where I see that, and especially because instead of going to Climate Pledge like they did last time, okay, Climate Pledge was completely sold out. It was a beautiful venue. Okay, there was not an empty weird seat. There were a couple just because of the camera angle, but that's standard in any fucking wrestling production. That's large scale, WWE, whatever, right? Just because of the way the cameras are set up.
Absolutely.
Because they have to block off some seats there. So they're doing it in Tacoma at the Tacoma Dome. Usually, like the Tacoma Dome is where when they have like bigger like concerts, usually they'll do their, like, for example, like Justin Timberlake when he first toured, and then NSYNC, just showing my age. NSYNC when they did their last tour, they played at the Tacoma Dome, and well, they didn't have Key Arena then because the Key Arena was just nothing, but it was usually, and still to this day, is like almost like the equivalent of playing in a ballpark or a football stadium. But they're not going to use the fancy ballpark and football stadium they have there. They'll go to the Tacoma Dome. So it holds at least another 7,000 to 10,000 people. So it's almost double the size. So, and they did that with anticipation because this is going to be Danielson's like last full-time match, or they were building up his last match. But we all know that if he's going to wrestle, I think that one, he'll probably have a backstage kind of presence or whatnot with AEW. But if he's going to wrestle, he's going to be doing things like Defy. That's probably if you want to see Danielson, go to Defy because those are going to be a small, intimate show at Washington Hall, less than like 700 people. You know, I mean, it's worth the check. I tell people to go. Shout out to Defy. So that's where I think that's going. That's the only reason why I think that's going. If for some reason that doesn't happen, I will be shocked as shit. Shocked.
The system?
Like, what? What are you talking about?
Shock the system. I see what you did. I got it. I see what you did. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her.
Yeah. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What?
Shock the system.
Oh my word. No, so yeah, just shit like
So
that.
good.
So yeah. But that's next week. So I personally, my long shot, if it wasn't Marty, they should have had Judgmental behind me as the guy to come
You
in
want-
to be all, you know what? Fucking I won it last year. And I don't get to go and try to, be the 2-time winner. Fuck you, Tony Khan. Because everybody in that elite is kind of bitter. Jack Perry, bitter. Okada, he's calling people a bit. He's like loving the word bitch. He's bitter. The Bucks I don't need to say any more about that. So I thought that the other story, which would have been great, was bring Ricky back just for a little bit because he doesn't have to be contracted to do that. He goes and he faces Danielson because Danielson never truly beat him because he blacked out the one time. He never did.
Yeah.
And then Ricky would have laid him back for Danielson. And that would have pushed that story. But it would have been a really a great swan song for him because of all of this, back talking that's been happening the last couple of weeks and stuff. And I think that would have been a really good, even though albeit quick story, it would have been a nice, that's closure for
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a fun story.
Yeah, a fun story. And not, because you think, he was injured in that spot when Top Flight beat him and Bill. Yeah, no. It's like, why can't you let people walk out at least with their head held high, Tony Khan?
Yeah, give
But
them
something
a little more,
Yeah. But I will say this. My favorite phrase, one of my favorite phrases in life is I told you so. So, hey, Ricky Starks, I told you so. He knows. Should have never gone there in the first place. Told you so.
True. Like,
No, I don't book these things. I'm just a fan. Call it how I see it.
It's been said, by the Tongas that AEW is a mid-card promotion. They said it for a reason.
I didn't call it a mid-card promotion. I was just more saying the fact
No,
that, but I know why they said it. Yeah. But
yeah.
Also, my biggest thing was it's like, if you don't have a name, you have no value to that guy because it definitely was it was not the company that it was supposed to be. When you look at it now, when you look at it back in 2020 during pandemic era, I personally, honestly, if things were different, I really honestly don't think Ricky Starks should have gone to AEW.
No.
If there was no pandemic. But that's just my opinion. But, how's that for being judgmental? Okay.
Yeah. Petty's the way of life in this.
Yeah. So
in this house.
we were talking while you were away.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have for that women's final? Because right now already Willow is going to be defending her 2-time to try to be the 2-timer. But the last final entrant is Shida and Mariah Mary. Who you going with? This happens Saturday, by the way.
If they're smart, Shida.
Interesting.
And I'll say this much. At this juncture in time, the working relationship between them and the Japanese authorities has been shit. Like, no
Well,
sugarcoat shit. And
well,
whether they are signed or not, that is the way that culture works.
well, Sheeta is signed. Okay.
Right.
And but also remember what with the Owen, what the winner gets.
Mm-hmm.
They get the title shot at All In.
Right.
So if you're saying Sheeta, then who is going to win between Sheeta versus Willow then?
I think you would again put it on Sheeta. Willow's best work has always been when Willow's chasing, not when she's holding.
So
Sheeta,
you
I would see Sheeta, gets a surprise win, goes in. I would love to see could be transitional at best. Give Sheeta a shot, not give her a legit shot.
Didn't Sheeta already challenge Tony Storm for the women's title during this current reign?
and
Don't do it
Tony
again.
Storm won by a little bit of help from the rope.
Right.
So you think does that leave it open for them? Do you think that's going to leave it open for them to do it again? I mean, because I'm thinking Mariah
At
May.
least
It's
for a great
Mariah
promo.
May's. I'm
Yeah.
almost thinking that's got to be Mariah May in the
Yeah. That's
And
what I'm
that-
saying.
it's her home
Yeah.
country. I mean,
It's
you're
her home
going
country.
to All In.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it too soon to conclude to finally come to a head on that story, or is that extra couple months that we have, or the extra month till we get there,
When
enough
it comes
time?
to Mariah May and Tony, as it were, and a lot of the current surrounding things, there needs to be more time because you want that loud oh shit pop moment. Right now you get a yay. Give it a little bit of time. Let it burn, as the kids say, let it cook. And build something, someone, or just end the storyline with that culmination.
Now, do you find? Here's the other question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going back to Sheeta, because there was a promo that was cut that they were asking Mariah May if she, like with Sheeta, like going into Sheeta, and like Tony Storm was like, no, Hikaru Sheeta is this evil woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and just basically saying, no, like she's dangerous, because she obviously, she was a big threat to Tony. She should have had it. Same like Thunder
Right.
Rosa should have had it. But
Right.
those were the two strongest ones, and she relied on the rope to help her save and retain.
And Sheeta and Storm, they work together like magic. They will put on as a title shot a banger like last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
now
all the people that Tony's fucked over and
Mhm.
cheated, this is that shot where they can get their comeuppance that when she tries to pull some dumb shit.
Do you feel that she's gonna try to pull some dumb shit versus Mariah?
Yes.
Or Sheeta and Mariah, and it backfires?
Yes.
You think that's where you were thinking? Okay.
I could see
I
Right.
don't know. It's an interesting thought. And you're right about Willow. If Sheeta were the one to face Willow in the finals next week, very interesting thought. And you're
'Cause
right. But
I
kind
really
of like.
I think
Tony
Willow's a
Khan
great
likes-
talent.
Yeah,
But
she is. Yeah.
He's going to give the
know-
hometown girl the big match. I mean, that's almost what
Yeah.
I'm seeing it as. I mean,
Yeah, that's like Tony Khan loves that feel good thing.
But is it
I
really
mean,
a
how long do you let
feel-good
the
thing?
how long do you let the story burn? Considering Tony's
Yeah.
timeless.
Mhm.
Well, then that means she has forever.
Yeah,
But-
it was such. She had such a corny, like, she had such a corny for Forbidden Door. It was so corny. Like, she came out as Lady Liberty, and she'd been doing these
Mhm.
promos using
I saw
American
that.
Beautiful and all this other
Yeah.
stuff, and it was like, this is like this is hilarious. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is
Well, and
like,
here's the thing
yeah.
about Tony Storm. Tony Storm doesn't need the title needs Tony Storm. And
Mhm.
until somebody puts her up clean, until there's that baby face comeuppance,
Mhm.
she might as well keep it. If they don't have an end road for that point, nobody should get it.
Yeah.
Just keep it on her.
Yeah.
But
I just think it's hilarious that Mercedes and Britt Baker are fighting for the B title.
yeah, well,
That's the title that's forever going to be tainted. Jade Cargill defended it like a billion times and had that long run.
much
so
to our
that's what you're.
dismay.
Yeah, so that's where but but it'll be very interesting. So
I know
I mean, and
I
then
have weird
yeah.
ways of looking at things, but there's
It's
there's
not
a
weird,
sticking
but you
point.
know what? It kind of makes sense now
Yeah, it
in
could
a
work.
way. It could work, but I just Tony Khan likes this hometown kind of shit. He likes hokey shit.
It's because he's
You
fucking
know,
hokey.
duh. He tried to look smart. He wore glasses at the presser.
Yeah, what
That's
does
like,
that when you're desperate?
Oh man, if
Yeah,
only
like-
they had a surprise or a wild card for the women's and they brought Jamie Hayter back and they gave her the moment. What could have
I know
happened?
what.
Could have been the
What?
greatest
Yeah.
thing
Thing ever.
AEW has ever done for the women's division.
Yeah, but
They could
nobody
have put
nobody even knows. I think like it's like she vanished off the planet. You know,
yeah.
like
Mhm.
nobody knows. Like like I've not heard any buzz about her or anything,
It's
and
crazy.
that's
Like,
where it's crazy.
she was so
Yep.
over. She was over, and I mean, like, she was really getting over with the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Loved her.
Oh yeah, she was great. She was the best part of the women's division at the time.
Mhm.
True.
And she got badly hurt, and we found out she was gonna miss last year's Wembley, and now it's like it's almost all over again. You gotta think she's healed. I mean,
Yeah, and then
maybe
I
she
hope.
gets a match.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I hope Saraya gets to do something at Wembley.
Yeah. Well, she won the title at what? Didn't she win the title at Wembley last year?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what happened. She won the title at Wembley last year.
Yeah,
They gotta
but
do something
it's
for
one
Jamie.
of they have to do something for Jamie, and I thought they were going to do something for Jamie because I think at the end of the day, I think it probably would have been, that would have been her big thing. I think it would have probably been like, if anything, maybe it would have been, it could have been like Saraya and Jamie. That would have been pretty good.
I was just thinking that in my mind. I
Yeah.
was just thinking that Saraya and Jamie,
Yeah.
boom, get both
Yeah.
of them in the match. They're both,
Yeah.
hometown girls. Do it
Yeah.
that way.
Mhm.
And what I will say is I love the Outcast Now reincarnation with Harley Cameron and Anna Jay and Soraya. I like the three of them together. I really do. I don't know why. Don't ask. And then Chicago, and I know why Chicago. I'm gonna harp on this. They had a special comedy show that was hosted by RJ City and Colt Cabana. I heard that was fucking hilarious. Why can't you do that out here? But also, and I don't know if it was on Ring of Honor tonight. This is me being bitter and judgmental. So, guess what Chicago got yesterday?
Something annoying.
A Colt Cabana match.
Yeah, a real one. As in the fact that it was actual professional wrestler Colt Cabana in his singlets that he makes. He made a brand new fucking singlet and his ring jacket thing. And my heart dropped. Okay, like I saw this, he posted it. I shed tears. I was like, "That's my Colt Cabana." What do you like? He's been doing indie shows in that stupid like fucking zebra print monstrosity that he wears with Brandon Cutler and shit like that. And he came out, I don't know what the hell. He came out with his fucking entrance music by Kid Russell with his normal, fucking, Titantron shit.
You got some feelings about this.
Very happy.
I said, oh my God, hold on. Oh my God. Let me bring Boom Boom here. Oh my God. So nerdy. So nerdy. I know judgmental behind me. I don't fucking care. This is my number one. Okay, it's so judgmental.
Wow.
Oh my God. I was like, I just saw pictures, okay? No clips or any, it was just pictures. I saw 4 pictures and the emotion, okay? Because I could already hear it in my head, okay? Chicago's one of those ones. It's like, are you gonna fucking, who are you choosing? Choosing Phil? You choosing this guy, okay? Like, you never let Chicago decide that debate, AEW. Why? Because you said, hi, guy. Hi. Hey, Colt Cabana. Phil doesn't want you there. Guess what? Oh, yes, I did throw. It's okay. He landed on my bed. It's okay. He'll be fine. So I saw that. Now, I guess
Hashtag stuffed animals lives matter.
stuffed Colt Cabana's lives matter. Let's just go there. He's not an animal. Well, I don't know that, but anyways, yes. Oh, by the way, he has 3 new figures, people. That came out. Of course, not from Jazzwares as an AEW one, or they don't even have the fuck. They have nerve. They haven't even put him in the fucking ROH, like the vault ones. Hey, give Colt Cabana a real figure. God damn it, he deserves it. They're giving Cutler one. They're giving him a limited edition one. Nobody wants that except for Cutler and probably the Bucks. I don't want that. Give me a damn Colt Cabana and give me a Chase one. And goddamn Ringside Collectibles, if you get them, I want both. God damn it. Don't do me like you did with Ricky Starks, because I still don't have Darby. Okay. Oh, God. This is my moment of Zen. I haven't had one in a while. But damn. Colt Cabana has 3 figures. I don't know how much they cost, but you can go to coltcabana.com and they have them. So if anyone wants to gift me one, just know that my birthday is coming up. And it's a landmark birthday. I'm just saying. Yes. Just saying. If we had a wish list, that would be on my wish list. There's 3 of them. And apparently, and I don't know, whoever made the figures, one of them in his singlets, it has the word boom on his butt. And I'm kind of against that because he has no butt. Yeah.
Look.
But anyways, that's a different topic. But anyways.
Ass lives
Chicago,
matter.
Yes. Chicago got real Colt Cabana back. I don't know if it's on ROH tonight. I have no idea. Brandon Cutler was very upset, it looked like, in this one picture visibly, because he was in the ring with Colt and looked like he was yelling at Colt. So, I don't know. But all I know is they got real Colt Cabana. That's all I know. My heart hurts. And I want this. So, hey, Colt Cabana, if you're listening, or if not, I know one of our lovely watchers or listeners or whomever, and I know sometimes things with me in the Colt Cabana world can go viral via X. Go out there and tell a sister and tell them you need to come out to somewhere near me to wrestle in actual Colt Cabana professional wrestler gear soon, because honestly, my poor heart, I can't take it. The times are very limited for when I can see him. As I say it, wearing my Colt Cabana shirt. Just saying. So yes, I mean, hell, if over 150 of you guys went to the original Starcast and told him that he needs to unblock me, and he kept getting irritated, then hey, you guys can do me a solid. I know you all can.
That's fair.
True story. Mm-hmm. Next week, I will put up as my background. We won't have Judgmental Ricky, but we will have the thing where Colt blocked me. We'll post that.
I'm just saying, technically, it's Judgment Day for Amanda.
What do you mean? Oh, yes, this is Judgment Day. See, sitting
Go
over
ahead. Go ahead. Cycle your mind through it.
I know exactly what you're saying.
You don't need a priest to make it happen.
No. I can't
Not
stand
possessed by a demon.
Nope. Well, sometimes it can be.
Womp womp.
Wow.
Womp womp.
But yeah, no. So Chicago gets all the good things,
Yeah,
and we don't. And that
well,
hurts my heart.
considering
And Tony Khan, you know what? Don't say you did that for Colt Cabana because he's the home guy. Because guess what? You didn't care about Colt Cabana. You were basically gonna fire him until people stood up for him. That's the other person who should have been the goddamn fucking wild card. Yeah, how you like them apples? I mean, he could have. I mean, he didn't have to win. Like Jeff Jarrett could have beat him, but it's all good.
How would you have felt if the wild card ended up being Will Ospreay after losing to Swerve and then becoming the wild card?
Well, it couldn't have been, and I'll tell you why. Because he had opened his big mouth as he always does, and told Daniel Garcia that, oh yeah, when I win the belt, we have a. I don't know what he said, but he basically was giving Garcia a title shot for both belts yesterday. So he couldn't have done double duty because if he had, see, so yeah, no.
she said duty.
Duty.
Just duty.
But if for some reason Tony Khan pulled a fucking fast one and did that, I swear to God, I would have wrote the most fucking heated email to Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, and I'd make sure to find like Mama and Papa Buck's like address or how I could contact both of them on the interwebs and give it to them. Actually, no, I think Papa Buck follows me on Facebook, so I probably would have done it that way. And I think Joyce and Mama Buck too. So yeah, no, I would have given that skeeving email too. Like, how dare you? How dare you allow that to happen? I thought you were you were trying to like run a good company.
Jesus, man.
Oh my.
Yeah. And they would have been, because I think they also know that I don't like those. They know I don't like Ocean Spray too. They know where my bread is buttered. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I can say is there's a lot of good things to come in the future for pro wrestling. You know, Money in the Bank's coming up. That's going to set up for SummerSlam.
Slammiversary, isn't that coming up soon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, one Slammiversary. Jeez, I forgot the
Isn't it 2
Slammiversary.
weeks from now?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
right. It's like
About 2 weeks from now?
should be what, the 13th or the
20th?
14th? Is it even
34th?
further back?
Oh, let's check. Before we fuck up any more dates tonight.
Oh yes. So just so you guys know, if you are in the San Francisco Bay Area,
July
now
20th.
July 20th it is. Okay.
Hmm.
I fucked up because I thought this was a New Japan show, but apparently it is not. It is Fantastica Mania in San Jose, California next week at Mount Pleasant High School in San Jose, in the east side of San Jose. Ultimo Guerrero is on this card. Also, Stephanie Vaquero, who just fought Mercedes Moné, is on the card. Let me tell you who else is on the card. We've got, hold on a second. Okay, let's see. Here, let's see who else is here. They shoved the picture so fast. So, Ultimo Guerrero, Gabe Kidd is putting up his NJPW Strong Openweight Championship against Ultimo Guerrero. I've got it's Yoda Tsuji from LIJ versus Barbaro Cannavario. Stephanie Vacour is facing someone, I don't know her name. I don't want to try to slaughter it. Sorry. The MLW World Tag Team Championship is up for grabs. Kojima and Okamura are facing Magnus and Rugido for that. Then we also have the Copa Fantastica match, which is Adrian Quest, the DKC, Viento, and Cucci. Then I've got a match that is Dookie. Hey, I'm just saying. And Mystico, former Sin Cara, versus Volador Jr. and Rocky Romero. But
Ooh.
yes, and one of the matches that I am looking forward to is a tag match. It's Hechicero and Virus versus TMDK's own Bad Dude Tito, Big Tits, and the frontman Zack Sabre Jr.
Nice.
I thought this was the one at the San Jose Civic Center, but apparently it's in a high school. And if it's hotter than Hades, there's no air conditioning in this high school. So, and if it's been like it's been, next weekend, I'm like, as much as I love you, ZSJ, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, that being said, there are lots of tickets available. Again, there's, at every price point, although, like, as much, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to spend the money because I only really want to see Zack Sabre Jr. But then again, I'm like, I could probably just go and see if I can hang out with him all day.
On the other side too, that match card doesn't sound too bad at all.
It's
No.
not. It's not, and it's a very early match. It is not televised, from what I know. There's no taping. It is an NJW CMLL one, sponsored by Pro Wrestling Revolution. Also, I did want to plug that the West Coast Pro Queen of the Indies actually has just added some. They actually just announced one of the matches. It's going to be Masha Slamovich versus Kylie Ray in the
That should
opening
be
round.
good.
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Mhm.
Welcome
Yeah,
back,
so-
Smiley.
Yes, Smiley Kylie. So we'll see what we'll see how that's going to turn out with that.
What's the
Masha
match card
is-
so far?
That's the only one they've announced, but women who are on it, let me tell you exactly who is on the card. Just hold on a second. So sorry. I'm gonna do this here.
4?
Let's see. Hold on. Well, right now, reigning and defending is Masha.
Yep.
But what we do have as far as with man, he's got to update his website. How unprofessional. They've got here. Oh, here come the Joshis. Unagi Sakayaka. I don't know who that is. She's there. Or is that last year's? Wait a minute. Oh no, that was last year's. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on.
Oof.
Sorry. Entertain yourselves as we try to figure out. I don't know why they're not showing me it, but I do know that
Entertain yourself.
I know.
Did you
I
just
do
tell me to
know
go fuck
that-
myself?
No, I said entertain yourself.
Oh.
Entertain yourself. Hold on.
Oh God.
Queen Aminata is on the card.
Yes.
That I do know. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Okay. They've got. They're announcing so many matches. They should not be. They're doing way too much. Aja Kong, Xia
Oh.
Li,
Oh.
the Great Sakuya,
Yes.
Amazona.
Uh huh.
Who's this on the picture? Vert Vixen, Sandra Moon.
Uh huh.
Who is this woman? Yeah, they have this like artistically drawn like poster, and I'm like,
That's
some of these
good.
don't. I know, but some of these women don't work. Maya World,
Okay.
Henan. Let's see who else is here. Maya World versus Henan. They just announced that. Let's see here. looks like that's all they've announced, are just those two matches so far. But yeah, that is going to be held August 17th at the United Irish Cultural Center. That is going to be great.
Those are a lot of fantastic women wrestlers.
Yes, I'm excited to see that they did invite Vert Vixen, to be quite honest, because I'm surprised Lady Frost was not invited. I'm a little disappointed in that.
Maybe she is, but I also know she's been working a lot of AEW stuff lately.
Yeah, so they probably won't have her on there. So, but that's a bummer because honestly, like, it would be really nice if she.
Murder Gymnastics is fucking amazing.
And yeah, that's that. So tickets are available. Kind of pretty badass, I think. Yeah, like, cause I can't tell you the last time we saw Aja Kong here in the Bay Area. At least 5-6 years.
Easy.
At least, easily. I will also like to say as well, I do still have my ticket for next Saturday, next week for Prestige Pro Wrestling in Portland, Oregon. If you are a listener of the show and you are in Portland, Oregon next weekend, if you hit me up on either my Twitter or X, or Instagram at Ms. Amanda Jane, Jayne, I will happily give you my second row ticket. I can attend. So, yeah, I just want to make a comment before we wrap this up.
Sure.
If you are an indie promoter, okay, this is just my opinion. Okay, there are a lot of promotions out there that are great. A lot of them are trying to compete to be a super indie. Okay, there are only a few right now that actually, in my opinion, could consider themselves a super indie, and you can book a big show. Right now, there's only, in the US right now, I'll say, to be fair, there's 3 promotions. One of them being Wrestling Revolver. That's the number one, because they're consistently having 1,000+ people per show selling out easily. 1. Number 2, I would say Defy. They could fill, like, they could do it. That they have a small, very very small venue, but they could do over 1,000 to show. I mean, shit, your champion's goddamn fucking Kenta. Need I say more? And he's been their champion almost a year. Yes, so just saying. And they actually are running on the 20th, and they've got a great 3-way tag match for their titles, and they've got 3 really great teams from Pacific Northwest that are vying for it. And I personally hope that C4 gets it. Shout out to them. But the third, honestly, it's kind of a toss-up. I'll say it's got to be someone on East Coast, because honestly, like, there's other people out west here that try to do it, and they're just not. But there's got to be another one out there. I just don't know who has been doing it. But Revolver and Defy are the 2 that set the standard and can do it. And it's not anything that's carny. Because I'll tell you this, I don't think that if you're having a hard time filling a venue and you have a stacked card like Prestige does for next week, probably might not want to be running those kinds of things, because it looks like they barely even sold like 200, 300 tickets.
Jeebus.
Yeah. So, yeah. And also, like, I feel that if you have to rely on a lot of these towns to try to sell these tickets, and then you constantly have them either A, you're changing cards because people don't show up or whatnot.
Probably not a good sign.
Probably not a good sign. It's also not a good sign too when you have to go on social media and try to clear the air. Not a good sign. So yeah, but just if you know you can promote a show that's a big show, then do it, but don't try to be carny about it and whatnot, because that was the downfall of a couple of promotions very pre-pandemic.
Mm.
Hi, Wrestle Circus, how you doing?
Wrestle Circus all but told you it was carny. I'm just saying.
um mm, Ricky Starks is being judgmental towards them, and he has every reason to be. Just saying. Anyways, so
What about your end of the woods there? Hype?
yeah, what's
Got
going
any
on?
stuff?
Right.
What do you mean?
Show wise, what's going on?
MCW? Any?
Mhm.
Oh, MCW has a show coming up. The
Okay.
annual Shane Shamrock Memorial Cup being featured by Khan. Khan is
Ooh.
actually a trainee from MCW. He trained, that's where he started. He started at MCW
Oh,
and worked his way up.
nice.
All that good stuff.
Cool.
He's AEW. Seemed that maybe was thinking about leaving AEW at one point.
Fair enough.
No.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah. So Digi, I'll start our tradition because it is
All right.
America. All right.
America.
So America. So on this great day in America, I'm positive that there's going to be some really great wrestling coming up. We got Money in the Bank, NXT. Really hope we see Ethan Page get that gold. He fucking deserves it. I mean, and to do it in because it's in Toronto, right?
Yes.
It should
The
be.
NXT. Yeah, that's his home. So shout out Hamilton, Ontario. So great time for wrestling. So yay! And then Hype. What are you thankful for?
Thankful for life. Thankful for the opportunities that have been given to me. What I've been able to work through. Just being grateful to have what I have and grateful for what's coming next. Just got to keep working for it.
Perfect. GG, sir.
I am thankful for Stone Cold's cat. That is my new champion. Poncho 316 says I just stole your cat treats.
Oh my good lord.
Fucking cat is so amazing. If that has been the thing to brighten my day when I'm just feeling down, I see Steve Austin going, Poncho, come here, it's bedtime. Cat looks at him. Come on, Ponchy. That's just what I mean. Motherfucker went a business for himself.
Willis can't wait for Money in the Bank and NXT Heatwave.
I am here for that.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. So, guys, thank you, Hype, and everybody, once again for visiting us here on America's birthday, the dive bar of the IWC. Hype, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch at Hype the Commentator, TikTok at Hype the Commentator, YouTube at Hype the Commentator, Instagram at Hype the Commentator, X at Hype Commentator. Thank you guys for having me today.
Oh no, thank you.
Oh, we'll be
Digi.
having more of you. We've had that talk.
Oh yeah,
Soon.
Digi, soon.
What?
Digi, where can we find you?
Digi Damon WOTR at Instagram. I hate social media, but so much.
Yes. Well, guys, make sure you go and visit wrestlingontherock.com. We have an awesome shop hopefully we'll have some new merch soon. I think he's pointing below, so it must be below us. I don't know. We
It
have a
is.
backstage. I have a backstage that I'm back in, so I have no idea.
It's
Like-
all down at the bottom.
Mhm. And I want to thank each of you guys for taking your time out of celebrating America to be
Yeah.
judged by D. Ricky Starks behind me. You can find me at Ms. Amanda Jane with a Y. And because we have to do it, and because I didn't say I was thankful for him, and I feel really embarrassed. So, for Wrestling on the Rocks, I'm Ms. Amanda Jane. Below me is Digi Damon. Type the commentator is here. And we're going to say last call. And as Colt Cabana would say, thanks.
Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support and buy us a drink by putting the I in subscribe and reviewing our podcast. And cheers to
I would never